the camera's on, folks all whispering won't be long. No more smirks and no more lies. Judge looked down with narrowed eyes. Bailiff waiting by the side door. Steel-toed footsteps on the courtroom floor. Whole chat buzzing like the verdict dropped, but the jury room still got them locked. L-wop-bop-bop, hear the cell doors lock. No parole board, baby, round the clock. One-way trip and the bus won't stop. Everybody clap to the L-wop-bop, L-wop-bop-bop. No appeal gonna save you. Orange jumpsuit, tailor-made flavor. Sink that feeling when the gavel drop. That's the rhythm of the L-wop-bop. That's the rhythm of the L-wop-bop. Mama crying in the second row. Defense still talking, but it's moving slow. State brought receipts and the pressure's steep. Now the whole room barely even breathes. Used to talk big for the TV lights. Now it's long breaks and uneasy nights. Woo! Funny how the swagger disappeared before a single word got cleared. L-wop-bop-bop, hear the cell doors lock. No parole board, baby, round the clock. One-way trip and the bus won't stop. Everybody clap to the L-wop-bop, L-wop-bop-bop. No appeal gonna save ya. Orange jumpsuit, tailor-made flavor. Sink that feeling when the gavel drop. That's the rhythm of the L-wop-bop. Hey, 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 hey. The L-wop-bop. Hey, 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 hey. That's the rhythm of the L-wop-bop. Hey. Case pause, courtroom tense. Hey. Everybody waiting on the consequence. One deep hush through the parking lot to the beat of the L-wop-bop. Whoa, yeah!
Go to jail, go to jail. 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 Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. Don't collect that 200s, take your ass straight to jail. Gavel hit, case closed, now the truth done set sail. Take it to trial in the building, baby, straight to jail. Pulled up in court, yeah, the facts on deck. No filter, no fluff, we just call what's next. If the lies don't match and the stories derail, pack it on up, baby, straight to jail. Judge on the bench, whole chat going wild. Sweet Pete on the mic like, hold up, that's foul. You be the judge, but the evidence loud. When the verdict come back, we don't do no soft crowd. Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. Don't collect the 200s, take your ass straight to jail. No pass, go, no spin, no magical fairy tale. Take it to trial, said what? Take your ass straight to jail. Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. Go to jail, go to jail. Go to jail, go to jail.
Okay, so we in here. I'm just going to show y'all a different view. Let's see what we got here. So they showing you like the courtroom. This is when everybody's kind of like gathering to come back. So this is just like the outside right before everything is going down, y'all. Y'all see that? Courtroom 6A is where it's all going down. Oh, and the cameraman everywhere. Okay. Let's go here. I want them to kind of get their camera back in here. Hopefully they do, but I guess until that time, let's do this. They're still out. So this is just a little bit over 2 hours, y'all.
All right, you have a seat. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court just and I say this just to reference to you by numbers. We start down at the far right and run down this way, 1 through 6, upper right, 7 through 12. So, Miss Juror number 7, you are the foreperson? And the jury's arrived at a unanimous verdict? All right, if you would, please, ma'am, stand and announce that verdict on behalf of the jury.
We, the jury, find the defendant Blaise Taylor for count 1, guilty of second-degree murder. For count 2, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder. For count 3, guilty of first-degree felony murder during the commission of a felony. For count 4, guilty of first-degree felony murder during the commission of a felony.
All right, if you'll turn that document in, please, ma'am. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you can back up just a second. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you've heard your foreperson, juror number 7, announce your verdict in this particular case, that you found Mr. Taylor guilty of, in count 1, second-degree murder, in count 2, first-degree premeditated murder, in counts 3 and 4, felony murder during the commission of a first-degree murder. I'll ask you if that is your individual verdict. If it is, you would indicate it is. If it's not, you would indicate it's not. Juror number 1, is that your individual verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 2, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 3, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 4, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 5, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 7, the foreperson, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 8, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is that your individual verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 10, is that your verdict?
Yes, sir.
Juror number 11, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is that your verdict?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you very much. As you know, we'll need to discuss with the attorneys further issues in this case. Don't discuss the case any further. We'll get back with you here shortly. You can step down the hallway with the court officer.
So I will play the, the after part that we just seen. They have not gotten back yet, but man, oh man, all I can think of is that movie, that movie Get Out. Like, he seemed like he was trying to sink into the chair, into the sunken place. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, he gonna disappear right in between the lawyers. He'd wiped his face. He taking deep breaths. Oh gosh, yes, doofus. Like, this is so, like, he put himself in such a stupid position. For what? I'm telling you, they need to adopt my Sweet Pea Act. Y'all wait to, we are still waiting for, but I want y'all to start thinking about, I think that they should adopt this so men like him don't have to resort to something that's just so cruel and evil when it come down to this whole baby making stuff. And one day we'll discuss it. But I tell you, like, if they had my plan in place, the Sweet Pea plan, we would not be here today. But we're here. They don't have a plan in place yet. And Blaise decided that he wanted to unalive the baby. I don't even think he wanted to unalive her. I really don't think that. He just wanted to get rid of the baby without her consent. But Here we go, guys. Now, just to let you know, the next part is pretty emotional. So please make sure you protect your health, your well-being, your emotional, mental health in regards to it. All right, here we go, guys.
All right, Mr. Taylor, you've heard the verdict of the jury in count one. It found you guilty of second-degree murder. That verdict, as well as the other counts, guilty in count two of first-degree murder, counts 3 and 4, first-degree felony murder, will become the judgment of the court. In terms of counts 2, 3, and 4, will be the need for further sentencing hearing. Does the state contemplate introducing victim impact statement?
Yes, Your Honor, upon the court finding that by the jury's verdict that
Right.
we would be entitled to do that.
Okay. We'll take just probably a 15-minute break and let everyone settle down in terms of initial verdict. Come back and hear that proposed testimony under State versus Nesbitt, and then see Mr. Grant, Ms. Hollins, Mr. Joyner, what mitigating factors you want to submit and find that's necessary to submit to the jury. So,
Please, the court, the state's position is that Nesbitt only applies in death penalty cases.
what
As far
what I'm
as
talking
doing-
about, as far as victim impact 403 analysis.
Under Nesbitt, if it's life without parole, there is no analysis.
So you
That
can,
is, there's no dry run unless it is a death penalty case.
you can just have whatever that may be overly prejudicial.
No, it will be victim impact under pain.
Okay. And does Mr. Brand, Ms. Hollins, you have prepared proposed mitigating circumstances?
Yes, Your Honor, I think there are mitigating circumstances, mitigating factors we would argue to the jury.
Okay, all right, if you'll get those,
I think we need a minute probably.
okay, like I said, we'll take a short break, but let me ask the state this, there are cases with obviously with the finding in count one, that wouldn't be considered by the jury, but there's also, I think it's Hargis versus state that does apply to any felony murders that your notice that you submitted, the felony murder portion, I think it's your number 2, wouldn't apply in counts 3 and 4.
Disagree, Your Honor, because it is Middlebrooks, it is not a Middlebrooks situation. It is within the legislation that amended the statute post-Middlebrooks, so that is something the state submits the jury can consider in a felony murder sentencing,
That an aggravating factor is the felony murder.
which is based upon that aggravating circumstance, which is above and beyond just the definition of felony murder.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that the jury would have to find the aggravating circumstance that, again, that it is not a Middlebrooks situation, so that state's position is the jury can consider that as an aggravating circumstance. That was the whole issue in Middlebrooks.
But there's some that would only apply to certain counts.
Yes, Your Honor, the age of the victim, certainly.
Right. All right, we'll take 15 minutes and then come back and hear from the defense in terms of mitigation.
Yes, Your Honor, the state would like to be heard or see that.
Yeah, let them.
We have an argument
Mr.
about
Taylor, and by law, Mr. Taylor's bond has to be revoked, so if you'll step into the back and talk with your attorney.
Close in a 15-minute recess.
Okay, I thought that we would be able to get to it, but they are back assembling in court, so I'm gonna put us back live into the courtroom.
You did this so something would happen to the baby. Jade Benning, she did not call.
Opening statements. That's closing statements. What is going on here? Wait a minute. Okay, maybe they not back. I don't know. Law and crime. This is what they screen. This is where this show right now. It look like somebody battery messed up or something. I don't know what he doing. We got to see him go through the whole management of the cameraman. Y'all see this? Okay, he back at it. Okay. Okay, so they're not quite ready. So I'll take it back to that one. Okay. Because I'm like, okay, what are they doing? Okay, so now they are back for real. So I'm gonna get us in here so we can watch sentencing, see who's gonna speak on his behalf. Gosh, why he had to make this decision? Like, I just can't. I feel sad for people that got to resort to this stupid stuff. Boy, who am I? Who am I?
What, yeah, you can bring him up. What is it?
Your Honor, on the notice that the state filed to seek imprisonment for life without the possibility of parole, based upon the jury's verdict in count 1, the state would move to basically strike our number 3 and what would be in the code section number 16, because that requires an intentional.
As to
The
the,
murder was committed against a pregnant woman.
Right.
And the defendant intentionally killed the victim. The jury's verdict of a knowing killing, I think, removes that as an aggravated
from what would be, if it had been instructed at all, in count 3. Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so that wouldn't be, all right, now, any submission, Mr. Brand, Ms. Harris, on the mitigating circumstances?
Yes, Your Honor. As far as mitigating circumstances, and I've discussed this with Mr. Moore, we would submit that the mitigating circumstances in section J1, that the defendant had no significant criminal history, would be appropriate in this case. My understanding is there's no objection to that.
Okay,
That's correct, Your Honor.
And then, I apologize, I don't know which number this is, but the catch-all provision that
number
any other,
10,
yes, number 10, any other circumstance essentially fairly raised by the proof in this case.
does the state care to be heard on that?
Judge, submit under the law that has to be top of this class
And we,
those sorts of things.
sure, and
Not just the catch-all.
right, and so to specify, we would intend to put on proof related to Mr. Taylor's education, his high performance in school, his high performance in athletics.
You would?
We are going to,
Okay.
yes. We are going to put on that proof today at today's
Okay.
hearing. His involvement in nonprofits, so community involvement, other essentially positive personal traits and background related to Mr. Taylor that would support mitigation.
Okay. All right, I guess we can discuss the language of the court for place in there once we hear the proof. Anything else for the jury's brought down?
No, Your
You
Honor.
give opening statements
A
and,
brief, yes, Your Honor.
okay.
And we would as well, the state.
Okay. And does the state, just again for court's edification, know how many witnesses you may be calling?
3.
Okay. All right, let the jury step down. But General Moore, the states, are you in agreement that the jury would be instructed in terms, well, I can ask this later. Dealt with victim impact statement not being an aggravated circumstance.
Certainly.
Yeah,
And the jury can only consider that after they have found the existence of at least one aggravated circumstance.
And just before we get into an issue, the victim impact statements are not going to include any statement of what they want to
No,
happen.
no, we've discuss it.
Okay. Or you can have a seat. All right, members of the jury, when we get to this portion of this particular trial, the law allows for the attorneys to give you opening statements, then present proof, and I'll explain all this in the jury instructions. The parties are allowed to introduce appropriate relevant proof to the issues for your determination in terms of the penalty that the state's seeking of life without parole, or whether it should be a life sentence imposed on the counts 2, 3, and 4 that you've rendered the verdict on. Or does the state care to make an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor, just briefly. Members of the jury, because of your verdict, we are now going into the second phase of this trial. And what the state will present is based upon, like it seems long ago that I read the indictment. In this part of the proceeding, the state relies upon aggravating circumstances that are named. And there are 2 of those presented for your consideration. Number 1, the murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age, and the defendant was 18 years of age or older. So they refer to Ivy. Number 2, the murder was knowingly committed, solicited, directed, or aided by the defendant, while the defendant had a substantial role in committing or attempting to commit, or was fleeing after having a substantial role in committing or attempting to commit any first-degree murder. Again, based upon your verdict. The existence of those circumstances have been found beyond a reasonable doubt by your verdict. That allows, at this point in the proceedings, for the state to present what under the law is called victim impact testimony, to give you a view into what Jade and Ivy's death, the effect it has had on her family, her extended family, and not going into really anything else. It's limited to that. Victim impact. And we'll be calling 3 witnesses. Jade's aunt, Brady Moran, and who would have been Ivy's great aunt, Andrea Browning, who you have heard before, and Jade's mother, Ivy's grandmother, Bridget Parks. At the conclusion of that testimony, whatever the defendant chooses to present anything, this is what this is proceeding, that is submitted to your discretion. The judge will tell you the law, and once we conclude the proof, there'll be opening argument of the state. Perhaps the defense would have a chance, or they will have a chance to make an argument, and the state would close. Again, because we have the burden of proof throughout the criminal trial. But that is the process, and that is what you will hear in this part of the proceedings, to allow you to, in your discretion, determine what the punishment should be for the 3 first-degree murder cases. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, any opening statement?
Thank you. This case is and always has been tragic. Nothing that anybody's going to say in this relatively short portion of the trial is going to change that. And the thing we are going to ask you to remember is, even if you find there's aggravating circumstances, and really the aggravating circumstances the state is gonna ask you to find are based on your conviction. Mr. Taylor's been convicted, there's no question. It doesn't require you to give him the harshest penalty ever. He's going to prison no matter what. The best outcome today is the rest of his life in prison, 60 years in prison, with maybe in 51 years, he goes up for parole. He's 30 years now. At 80, he goes up for parole. That's the best outcome for today. You don't have to give him life without the possibility of parole. You can give him the opportunity to try for rehabilitation. You can give him the opportunity to work hard in prison. He's not going anywhere. This is a tragic case, but it doesn't have to be the worst of the worst outcome. Thank you.
Right, who's the state wanting to call?
Your Honor, the state's first witness would be Ms. Brandy Moran, and as part of the proof in this portion of the proceedings, the state would ask the jury to incorporate all of the proof that has been presented.
Okay, I mean, the law allows that. All right, let her step in. Raise your hand.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, so help you God? Yes.
Ma'am, could you please state your name and spell your first and last name for the recorder?
Brandy Moran, BRANDIMORAN.
You heard me say a few minutes ago that you were Jade's aunt and would have been Ivy's great aunt, is that correct?
That's correct.
And just so we're clear about the relationship, explain the family dynamics to us.
Well, she was my niece, but I was there with my sister the day she was born. I was in the delivery room when she was born, and for lack of not having children of my own for many years, she was like a daughter to me. My sister and I are very close, and so she was more than just a niece to me, and the same with my husband.
And just to be totally clear, who is your sister?
My sister is Bridget Benning Burks.
And so you have known or knew Jade from the moment she was born, is
The
that
first
correct?
breath she took, I saw.
And throughout her life, did you remain in her life?
She, like I said, was like another child, or like my only child for a long time. In fact, she was 13 when I finally had my child, and she was less than thrilled that I was bringing someone into the world to take her place, which he never did. But we took her, my husband and I took her to Disney World for the first time. I took her on her first trip to New York. She loved to travel. She was full of adventure. We traveled Europe together. We were in each other's lives when she went to culinary school. She lived with my husband and I. So we were very, very close.
And where were you when you learned about the February 25th, 2023 incident?
I was at my home in Northwest Arkansas, and I was actually folding laundry. My sister called and said something's happened with Jade. I don't know what's going on, but we're heading to Nashville. And I immediately we talked for a little bit. She was in the car, and in the meantime, my husband was in the background. Northwest Arkansas doesn't have a ton of direct flights, and it's a good 10 or 11 hours from here. So he was getting flights for me the earliest that we could get in Kansas City, and we actually drove all night so I could catch a first 6 a.m. flight out of Kansas City to get to the hospital.
Did you know before arriving at the hospital that Jade was expecting?
Oh, yes. I learned that Jade was expecting on November 9th, 2022, because it was my son's 10th birthday. And she had actually traveled to Arizona. I was in Scottsdale for work, and my work was wrapping up, and I was flying out my son, and Jade flew out and my best friend so we could celebrate my son's 10th birthday together. And so she arrived at the hotel, and I was extremely excited that my event was over with, and was ready to, relax, and, wanted to have a cocktail with her, and she kept refusing. And so, she finally had to tell me without everybody being there, but she had gotten me a little bag that said only the greatest aunts become great aunts, and it had a picture of the ultrasound inside. So from then on, if you look at our text, every single communication after that was about this baby.
And so it would be fair to say you were looking forward to being a great aunt.
Oh, yes. I had already asked off work I didn't have to ask off work, I work remotely. I'd already informed my boss that from middle of June through when my son had to go back to school, I would be working remote in Nashville, helping her learn how to become a mom.
The jury has heard that she was removed from life support, she and Ivy, on her birthday. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What was that like for you, yourself, going through that?
It was probably, I thought, when my mother passed away a few years prior to that, that was the hardest thing I was ever going to go through. But nothing prepares you for what you see as your family's future going away. And although she wasn't physically my daughter, it was like losing a child. And not in a way that was fair, and especially at a time when my very last text to her was, "I'll see you on your birthday to celebrate." And that's what I was expecting that weekend before. I didn't expect to be driving to Nashville to experience what we experienced.
From the moment you heard, got to Nashville, saw what was happening, has there been a day that's gone by that you haven't had this on your mind?
No, it's completely changed. We have a small family to begin with, and it's taken away I won't say it's taken away happiness, and I've done a lot with therapy and grief, and it's never going to go away, but there's never going to be pure joy in the celebrations that we have, because there's always going to be one of the big pieces of our joy missing. So
And with respect to the family, your sister, Browning, people we have heard from, have you seen how this has affected them?
Oh, it's everything. It's how we operate in life now. It's even how I allow my son to do things, because we're a normal family. This isn't anything you ever think you're gonna talk about. When I say we were boring people, and we liked it that way, and just, you can't let go of the fact that this type of thing now, really happens to other people. It happens to you too, and it can happen to you. And so it impacts every decision, every thought. There's just, across the board, with my sister, with, our father, with my husband, my son was 10 at the time, and just trying to explain to him why somebody that was, just like a sibling to him is no longer here.
I was going to ask about that, because Jade and your son would be cousins.
They were cousins, but they were
Closer than that?
They fought like brothers and sisters, and she was 13 when he was born, and then she turned into his babysitter, and then, she hit adulthood, and he had a little bit of a problem with her being an adult and not just his cousin Jade. So they fought like brothers and sisters, and there's just, it's really hard for me, like I said, because we have a small family, and my husband and I had our son late in life, and we don't have a lot of other relatives, and she was his only cousin, and he's not gonna have her now later in life the way I've had my sister. Like I relied on, you know, and she watched out for him, she could put him in his place like no other, and just, it kills me that I know that he's not gonna have that anymore.
And have you seen that actually affect your son?
Oh, definitely. I mean, our entire family has gone through therapy. He had a lot of problems right when everything happened in school, just with behaviors. And I mean, it's impacted every single day since it happened.
Prior to this, was your sister, family unit happy?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we were, you know, my husband and her husband are good friends. She and I are best friends, and like his children, like we all were just beyond just a happy, like I said, happy but boring, normal family. And there's just, I think somebody mentioned Jade's light, and that light's gone, and there's a dimness over our entire family that I don't ever see us getting back.
Can you describe, put in words, what you have seen this do to your sister, to Jade's mother, Abby's grandmother?
It's just destroyed her. When she got enough taping in her life, she was her life. They took every day. And aside from the fear and the hurt I know she has, I've lived with the fear of like, is she going to be able to get mad at us? And thinking about my sister not being here because she can't live without her daughter has been probably one of the hardest things that I've sat and just prayed and hoped that she is strong enough and will be strong enough, because I can't imagine. I look at my own child every Mother's Day and feel guilty that he's still here, and my sister doesn't have her little girl anymore.
Thank you, Ms. Moran. No further questions.
Hang on just a moment. Question from the panel?
No question.
All right, thank you. You can have a seat. Who's the next witness?
Ms. Browning.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, so help you God? Yes, I do.
Ms. Browning, could you please state and spell your name for the record?
Yes, it's Andrea Browning, Andrea, Browning.
Ms. Browning, what was your relationship to Jade?
She was my bonus daughter.
When did you and Jade's dad get married?
2009.
When did you first meet Jade?
She was about 7 years old, which is how old my daughter is now, our other daughter, Ava.
And can you walk us through Jade's early life?
Yeah, she was a little spitfire. The first time I met her, I'll never forget, because the light everybody keeps talking about, it's so obvious. And I was just, this girl was so full of life and so full of confidence. She always had a smile on her face, and she was always ready for anything. And she adored her dad and her family. She just, you could see it all over her face, and her whole body lit up.
And Ms. Browning, do you have another daughter?
She has Ava.
How old is Ava?
Ava's 7 now. She was 3 at the time.
And can you describe Ava and Jade's relationship?
Yeah, that's tough because, you know, like I said, Ava has Down syndrome, and so she's developmentally delayed, and she didn't know Jade because Jade was in Arkansas when they was born, and it was also during COVID, and we were taking lots of precautions about who we were exposing her to. And she finally met Jade in, I believe it was 2021, and they looked into each other's eyes and knew that they were sisters. There was a connection immediately. Like, it was really eerie, but also amazing at the same time. Having her here was so great for Ava because she got to know her last year. And also the toughest part about it was that that's it. That's all Ava gets of her was just that 1 year when she was 3 years old.
And what impact have you seen on Ava's life since losing Jade?
It's tough to tell her because she doesn't understand a whole lot about it, especially because she was so young at the time. But she's really into pictures, and she's always pointing Sissy out in pictures. And she asks about Sissy. She uses an AAC for communication. She just randomly hits Sissy on her words all the time. And it's got a little picture of Jade. And Sissy's always with you, so we can tell her and just keep explaining to her how great and wonderful her sister is and how much she loved her. And, you know, one of the toughest things I'll have to carry with that is that the Instagram post that Jade made that said, being in Nashville, one of the best things about being in Nashville is getting to watch my sister grow. And they will know her.
And can you tell us about finding out Jade was pregnant and how excited the family was?
I was so excited. I was initially shocked, and she could see that, and I think it was a short conversation, but we were automatically super supportive of her and super ready to do anything and everything, take her shopping, help her with decorating, help her with anything she needed help with. I mean, I had just become a mom myself not that long ago. You know, we talked a lot just about, you know, whatever you need, we've got you. And she didn't ask for much. She had a whole bunch. She knew she could do it. She's got all the confidence in the world.
And the jury has heard a lot about Jade's support system and how many people showed up to Vanderbilt and how many people took action that night. Can you describe for the jury Jade's support system, how many people she has here today, and what it's done to her friends?
I can't even begin to describe it because, like I said, she had only been here a year, and she was surrounded by people that were local, like at the end. I mean, obviously everyone from Arkansas came down, but the amount of people that came there that were not from Arkansas, that were there because she made an immediate impact on them, and they loved her so much, and they knew that this was going to be a huge loss to everybody.
And can you walk us through that night of February 25th and how you found out and how Jade's dad found out?
Yeah, I was actually asleep. I had a young child at the time. I had put her down a couple hours before, and I knew she was going to be up early, so I was sound asleep. And once I woke up, I saw the missed calls, and I was in such shock. I honestly don't remember a lot of like who called when, where, how. And I know Bridget had several missed calls from her as well as Dennis. And as soon as I talked to Dennis and got to Vanderbilt somehow on my own, that drive was awful. I could barely even operate my legs because I knew there shouldn't be anything wrong with her.
And Jade was working at your brother's restaurant back in early 2023.
Right.
Can you describe the impact that her and Ivy's death has had on your brother's staff, your brother, just the restaurant as a whole?
Yeah. It was devastating. It's been really hard to watch my brother because he hired her. I mean, he didn't even hire her. He recommended her to the head chef, and it was a no-brainer for her to hire Jade. You know, he just got her the interview, like, but everyone at that restaurant, like, and that's the biggest thing is like, they knew Jade was not doing anything she shouldn't be doing. They were like, always telling me that.
Yeah,
About how great she was taking care of
Maybe
all
can
the
we
things.
approach? I'm sorry.
Okay.
What is this about? Why are we approaching the bench? I need to understand. I mean, really, what is this about?
All right, what's your next question?
It greatly devastated them. I can just leave it at that.
And Ms. Browning, is Jade's dad Dennis Browning?
Yes.
And can you walk us through the impact that Jade and Ivy's death has had on you and Dennis?
It's just been devastating, just knowing that Jade is only sister, and we know that she was always going to be around for her when we weren't, and it's ripped us apart. It's brought us closer together, but it's changed everything. We are very much more protective of Babe now, having experienced what we experienced, and I know that it's just changed everything forever for us.
Those are all my questions.
No question.
Thank you. All right, who's the next witness?
Ms. Bridget Burks. You swear the testimony you're about to give to be the truth, so help you God. Could you please state and spell your name for the record?
Bridget Benning Burks, BRIDGET, BENNING, BURKS.
Ms. Burks, who was Jade Benning to you?
My baby girl.
And was Jade your only child?
Yes.
How can you describe Jade growing up and her light?
As soon as she walked in the room, you ran her because she was so full of life. She's known for being very loud. She got in trouble several times for being loud. So you knew her presence, her laugh.
And Ms. Burks, does Jade have a stepfather?
She does.
Okay, and what's his name?
When it hurts.
And when did Lynn Burks come into Jade's life?
She was 6.
And can you walk us through the impact that Jade's passing and Ivy's passing has had on you and Lynn?
We also have 2 boys, and so it just makes it harder, makes us worry more about our other 2 boys. That was his baby girl. You couldn't tell him any different. And it's just a void that will always be there.
Is your day-to-day life different without Jade?
Most of the time. People ask, are you okay? And I always say yes. But behind those doors, I'm not.
Did you and Jade talk almost, if not every single day?
Yes.
And Ivy would have been your first grandchild.
Yeah.
Can you walk us through the impact of losing Ivy?
Well, yeah, this is all my friends, and I'm the only one that didn't have a grandchild. So I was excited to be able to say I'm a grandma now. I'll never get that opportunity because it was taken from me.
And is there a day that goes by that you don't think about Jade and Ivy?
No, every day.
These are my questions.
Question?
No question.
Thank you. Have a seat. Any other witnesses from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any proof on behalf of Mr. Taylor?
Yes, Your Honor. Very, very briefly, I would actually call Detective Adam Reese, who I believe is in the court.
Okay.
You swear the testimony about the
Yes.
Detective Reese, as part of your investigation in this case, did you pull criminal history reports on Mr. Blaise Taylor?
Yes.
Do those include NCIC sort of nationwide background checks?
Yes.
In your investigation of criminal history on Mr. Taylor, did you find any prior criminal history?
No, I did not.
Thank you, that's it.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. All right, who's the next witness?
Your Honor, you would call Evie Taylor.
Okay.
Do you swear that the testimony about to give to be the truth, so help you God?
It's Dr. Taylor, right?
Yes,
Dr. Taylor, can you please state your full name and spell it for me?
it's Evelyn Taylor, Evelyn Taylor.
And Dr. Taylor, what is your relationship to Blaise Taylor?
He's my son,
And how many children do you have, Dr. Taylor?
too.
And is Blaise your older child or younger child?
He's my oldest.
And how old are your two children?
30 and 28.
So, Mr. Taylor is how old?
He's 30.
Where do you live, Dr. Taylor?
I live in Texas.
Can you tell us a little bit about who Blaise Taylor is?
Yes. He's the best son I could ever ask for. He's a loving son, a loving brother, a loving grandson, a loving nephew, a loving friend. He's never given me any problems. All throughout school, he was an A student. He was always the teacher's pet. In fact, his kindergarten teacher still keeps up with them to this day. He liked to help other children with their schoolwork because it just naturally came so quick to him. And teachers would always comment about that. He loves sports. He wanted to follow in his father's footsteps, and so he played sports. Every time we moved, he made a lot of friends. He was team captain and leadership. He was a team leader. A lot of the parents would come to me and tell me that how much respect they have for him. He was a good student in the classroom and in sports, and he was the type of boy that they wanted their children to hang around, because he was never getting in any kind of trouble and was very respectful.
Where did this, I'm gonna interject for a minute. Where did Mr. Taylor grow up?
We lived all over. He was born in Texas, but because of my husband's profession, we move every few years. So we lived in Texas. From there, we went to New Mexico, and then Louisiana, and then Tennessee, then Oklahoma, and then Alabama, and then Arkansas.
And is it fair to say sports are kind of a big deal for your family?
Yes.
So you mentioned he was very involved in sports. What sports specifically was Mr. Taylor involved in?
Well, his favorite sport was football.
And that's real big in your family.
Yes.
When did he start playing football?
When he was 5 years old.
And how long did he play?
He played through college, and then he got an invite to try out for the New Orleans Saints upon graduation or after his senior year.
And he ended up not pursuing it professionally?
He didn't make the team, the Saints.
How did he, let's start with high school. How did he perform in football in high school?
He was a team captain in high school, one of the leaders on the team. He actually graduated early. He graduated a semester early so he can go to college early.
And you mentioned a little bit about his grades while he was team captain and playing football. How were his grades in high school?
All A's.
And then where did he end up going to college?
He went to Arkansas State University.
And I think we heard a little bit about that during the trial. Did he play football in college also?
Yes, he played football in college, and he actually graduated with his bachelor's and his master's degree in business in 2.5 years. He was the first college football to ever he was the first college football player to ever do that. And while he was there, he started a nonprofit, Power 102. He's very passionate about helping children in underserved areas and communities. And so while in college, he and his sister co-founded that nonprofit. And they just did a lot of community events for those children, mentored them. He was a big brother. He volunteered at the alternative school, and his senior year, I think he went like 3 times a week.
Does that nonprofit still exist?
The nonprofit still exists. They've actually given almost like over $90,000 in scholarships. They help each year. They do school supply drives for kids in underserved areas. They do Thanksgiving baskets and adopt a kid for Christmas for children that don't have resources to get presents for Christmas. Pretty much whatever the needs are wherever we live in the community, they just try to serve those children and just meet their needs.
And you said Mr. Taylor's sister was involved in that as well?
Yes. So if you talk to his sister Star, she'll say that he's her role model. She followed behind in his footsteps, and she's an A student as well. And if you ask her why does she make A's, she'll say because Blaise did. Why do you play basketball? Because Blaise did. From the time she was little, he would help her put her shoes on the right feet. When I was her coach, she would be looking at him, and even though he was only in junior high, she valued his opinion and wanted to hear what he was saying, what she can do better, how she can improve. Whether it was in the classroom, whether it was with sports, whether it was trivia things or whatever, whenever she needed advice, she would say that she would go to her brother.
And is Blaise's sister here? Has she been here?
She is. She has been.
Is your family close?
We're a very close-knit family. When we move a lot, we know we have each other, and then every time we move, we make several moves, but we always find like adopted families wherever we are. Usually it's through sports, kids on their sports teams, and then they become a part of our family.
I know that this process has been very hard. Does Mr. Taylor have support still from your family?
Oh, yes, we have support from our family, we have family members here, it's just hard because we're not from Tennessee. And so, and we've had lots of different moves of people that we're close to are in various states across the US.
So, when Mr. Taylor started working for the Titans, which we heard a bit about, he was in Tennessee and you were still in Texas?
No, we were in North Carolina at that time.
You were in North Carolina. Okay. Did you have an opportunity, I mean, did you keep up with sort of how he was doing in work?
In work? Yes. We talk regularly and, you know, football's a big part of our family, that's what his dad does, so we have lots of conversations about work.
What's your impression of Blaise's work ethic?
Oh, he has a really good work ethic. If you ask anybody that knows him, that's one of the characteristics they'll say. He's a hard worker. He's always on time. He'll be one of the first ones there. He's going to make sure that he gets the job done. He has a really good work ethic in everything he does, whether it was his schoolwork, an actual job where he's getting paid, whether it's the non-service, he always goes above and beyond.
Okay. How about, are there any other, we talked a little bit about the nonprofit, are there any other kinds of community involvement or examples that you can think about from Blaise's life, either recently or longer ago, that you can tell the jury about?
Well, he has a servant's heart, so he does a lot of community service. Usually wherever we live, like with his dad, the football teams usually do community service, so he can be involved in various things that they do. I know one thing, like when he was in high school, where he was actually old enough to make a decision to do those things, he was really involved with the Miracle League. And so that's something he did throughout high school, with big brother type programs, mentoring younger children, he would do that. And then when he was in college, he just did a lot of community service, like I was telling you about, like for his nonprofit. But it was primarily through being a big brother and volunteering at the alternative school. So being a mentor, he would meet, he had a little brother that was assigned to him. And he would bring him to football practice and let him watch. He would go to school and help him with his homework and do things of that nature. And then when he volunteered, I believe it was the 3rd grade classroom at the alternative school, he would just encourage them to do their schoolwork, to respect their teacher, and if they made their points for the week, he would come and he'd bring teammates, and then they would play dodgeball and things like that. And you know, if they had a good week and a good report, he would let them come with him to, or he'd get tickets for them to come to the football game. And he was really involved with the community baskets, and we would do community Thanksgiving dinners. I think one of the things that I'm most proud of Blaise for was one time when he was in college, we were in church, and they were doing baptisms. And I didn't know this because, you know, he didn't tell me this. I'm just watching the baptism, and all the people come up and give testimonies, and it was a young college girl. And she said, I just want to thank Blaise because he really shared about the Lord to me. And he was really instrumental in my relationship with the Lord and my baptism. And all the accolades that he had, like in the classroom or on the field, they were nothing compared to what I feel like he did for this young lady that said that she's a friend that just went to university. And just the fact that he was instrumental in her being baptized, it's those types of things that make me really proud of Blaise.
Dr. Taylor, one second. Thank you, Dr. Taylor. I think that's all. Well, let me ask this. Is there anything else you think you want to share with the jury that I haven't asked you about?
Your Honor, I would object to being that open-ended.
Okay.
And that's all I
Okay.
have.
All right. Any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
That is the defense's proof.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, if you'll step down the hallway just briefly, we'll talk with the attorneys about legal issues and then get you right back. You can have a seat. And just for the record, Mr. Bland, like we did the other phase of the trial, let Mr. Taylor step around and deal with his decision not to testify. You raise your right hand and be sworn.
Do you swear to tell the truth, so help you God?
I do. Mr. Taylor, you understand that the sentencing phase of the trial, you have an absolute right to make a statement to the jury.
I do.
You also don't have to say anything, you have the absolute right to remain silent.
I do.
And we have discussed that option and the pros and cons, and I make a statement at this point in time.
Yes.
And based on those discussions, you made the decision that you're not going to make a statement or otherwise testify.
Yes.
And that's your own decision.
Yes.
All right, he can have a seat. And then, Mr. Brand, in terms of the mitigating circumstances that I'd instruct the jury would be the defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity. Set out the other mitigating factor raised by the evidence consisting of, and what do you contemplate the court instructing the jury there?
Trying to think of how to phrase this, Your Honor.
Right. I mean, excellent student.
I might. What if we said, community involvement, prior acts of service, support system, and educational and personal achievements? That maybe in the ballpark?
Or community involvement, education and personal achievement, and what was the other?
Acts of service.
Active service?
Acts of service.
Acts. Does the state care to be heard on that?
No, Your Honor, I think they come under the catch-all.
Okay, and I was planning on setting forth that catch-all about any other mitigating, but then consisting of and then listing.
Yes, Your Honor, I think that would be appropriate under the case law.
And then charge as to in terms of aggravating circumstances in counts 2, the murder was committed against a person less than 12 and the defendant was 18 years of age or older, and the murder was knowingly committed, solicited during the commission of the language there about another first-degree murder.
Yes, Your Honor.
Accurate. And in 3 would just be that felony murder type language.
Yes, Your Honor.
And 4 would be both again.
Yes.
Well, both
Yes.
again. Or anything further from the state in terms of jury instruction?
Not without having seen that.
Do you want 10 minutes before we come back with the closing argument? And I can give you the draft.
Just want to make sure that I don't say anything that's not going to be in the,
Okay.
in the charge.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would appreciate seeing the jury instructions, but we don't need much time.
Okay, all right, give the court just 6 minutes.
Court's gonna brief you.
So while the judge takes his 6 minutes, I don't know if there's anybody that's in the chat that's interested in doing our after the verdict panel. I will send out a link once we are done with sentencing. And while we wait for, I don't know how long because they're going to deliberate, right? Because they get to figure out if he gets LWOP or if he gets to get out when he's 80 years old. So if you want, we can kind of like do a little panel during that period of time while we wait for the jury to come back. I'm not sure how long they'll be out for that part of it, but looks like we are going into a second phase of deliberations, which is a little different for us. That makes a long day for a jury. Like, I wouldn't even want to be bothered, I don't think. Like, that'd be too much for me. So you don't have to be cammed up, but you cannot be a troll. You cannot be a troll, but you can definitely come up here and talk and express whatever you feel, sense of relief, a sense of, glad that justice got found. You can even come up here and say, what you found, what made him guilty to you, or what you found that they did not prove and you don't know why we got a guilty verdict. Even though you may accept it, you don't know how we got there. So I will drop the link. Like I said, you don't have to cam up, but please know that if you are a troll, you will get disconnected very, very quickly. And it's not a troll because I don't like your opinion or somebody else doesn't like your opinion. It's because you are being rude. We don't like rude people. Yeah, and if you want to express why you think he should not get parole or express any of your thoughts in regards to this, I'm going to give you the opportunity and the floor to kind of express your thoughts in regards to it. So just look out for that. I'll drop the link once they go back there for deliberations. We'll kind of hang out for a while. I've been in the background just kind of seeing where we're going with our next trials. And as I'm looking at them, yeah, because Barry Morphew, he was supposed to, I think Barry's trial was supposed to start. I don't know. I know it's been backdated. No, maybe I'm wrong. Sorry, y'all. That's inaccurate information. Yeah, I think the next big trial that I have is our Lindsay Clancy trial, and that's going to start on July the 20th. She does have a pre-trial hearing on July the 13th. We will probably do some case prep for that one, but that's the only trial that I see out here. Next week, we'll have some pre-trial motions that we will take care of. We'll also do some case prep for our Mario Fernandez and Shauna Gardner. They have a trial that's coming up, but they also have some pre-trial stuff that's going to be happening next week. So we'll peek in, look at that. What else? Of course, I'll check the Dirty D down there in Detroit and see what they got. They always got some kind of trial. Now, will we get the whole trial? I don't know, because sometimes they only give us bits and pieces, but they definitely be having some real good trials that the major networks don't never, stream. So We'll go over there. I'll go over there and check some stuff out over there. I'm still waiting. Christian's gonna send me some stuff, so I'm waiting for her. Cause she may find something. That's what I can tell you. So we'll be kind of like playing it by ear. I know that Courtney Clemmy has a hearing tomorrow. I haven't figured out what time her hearing is, but her trial is not for a wow. Like I think it's not till next month, till August. Are you following the trial out of Carrollton, Georgia, with a daughter on trial for her parents? I feel like it's coming up. You're talking about Sarah Grace Patrick? Yes, that is going to be in August. Yeah, and that trial probably will go, right? Because the judge was like ready to go the last time and got this young girl in jail. Yeah, I haven't seen any additional hearings or anything on that one, Valerie, but we are definitely going to be covering that trial. How is the Carlos trial going? Dusty, I have no clue. I go peek over there and all I keep seeing is the same people that we seen before on the hearing. It's like really like it is like the longest trial ever. Yeah, but I'm put our Discord link in there for you guys that if anybody Lawnmower, no, it's Sarah Grace Patrick. You said I Carly. Carly. No, I'm gonna put our Discord link in there for anybody who wants to sign up for the Discord. That's a good way of if you find out any information or you find a trial that you want to cover that you find interesting that you want to send over here, more than welcome to kind of take a look at it because yeah, we don't have a trial really for next week. I can almost tell you that. I don't see not one trial or that something comes up. All I see is a lot of hearings next week. So y'all can let me know. Yeah, I want to go back and I don't know a lot about that one, SD. I know her name is polarizing. I know some bits and pieces from being over at Catch Channel. But I do want to, before her hearing is like, go back and look at a lot of her stuff with you guys. Like, I guess like a deep dive. Hopefully we'll have some time to do it. Let me try to get the Discord link. And just so y'all know, our Discord it's totally free. It's just a hangout for everybody. You'll notice a lot of people mention Crime Club. That's where Crime Club is at, and Crime Club is just kind of like Fight Club. And what happens in Crime Club stays over there in Crime Club, where they watch movies and nothing's recorded. It's pretty cool. So it's where the crime continues to happen. I can never find a doggone link for the Discord. Can one of y'all put the thing in there? College sentencing will take place. Let me tell you, I got it sentencing in our sentencing calendar over there on Discord. Let me see. Sentencing. Upcoming sentencing. Collins sentencing is going to be on July the 28th, 2026. Josie Dykeman, her sentencing is August the 7th, 2026. Jared Koenig, his sentencing is scheduled for August the 13th, 2026. Who else sentencing do we have on here? I think that's it for right now. Okay, Lynn, have a good one. You think less than 30 minutes? I don't know. I guess it's gonna depend on what these instructions say. I mean, they were 2 hours in regards to, finding out if he was guilty or not, and they did find him guilty of dang on near the highest charge, right? Premeditated. So there's that. Um. Thanks for putting that in there, Merelda. I don't know, Lacey. I think maybe I don't know. It'd be kind of hard for me to judge. Like I want to think they're not long, but so I don't know. Yeah, he's definitely a poop bag. I can't believe him. On where am I checking messages at? Um, on Discord. There's so many places that I can get messages. I have no clue. Drunky, where you send it? T said they gonna be done in 30 minutes. They done with all this stuff. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at them if they decided that they was done and they just wanted to get this stuff over with. I mean, he did take away a whole life and a baby. In general, okay. Dang, that seemed like that's real quick as drunky. Shoot, don't look like they did but much of nothing. I haven't heard of this one. No, they not considering the DP on this one. Okay, I'm copying it right now, drunky. Yeah, cause I know we don't have no trial for tomorrow. We don't have one for Friday. Yeah, cause they're not starting no trials right now. Hey, Christian. Yeah, we were just trying to figure out what trial we gonna cover next week. Drunky, I'll look at that one and maybe we can do that one for Thursday and Friday. Since it's so short. I haven't heard of that one. Yeah, so maybe we can do that, and I see the judge head. Maybe we can do that for Thursday and Friday, and then next week we can kind of wing it. I know Courtney Clemley has a hearing tomorrow. That's why I was asking SD if we should watch it.
Instruction.
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Brown, okay. All right, let the jury step down. All right, you may have a seat. All right, any closing argument on behalf of the state?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Members of the jury, we're down to just about the last decision you'll have to make. And that is, what is the appropriate punishment in this case? I'm going to start out by saying that yes, the judge will tell you that a life sentence in the state of Tennessee today is 51 years before parole eligibility. That's a long time. It's a really long time. But contrary to what Mr. Brand said about life without parole being the harshest penalty, the harshest penalty wasn't asked for, the death penalty. So there are 3 punishments for first-degree murder in the state of Tennessee. One wasn't on the table. Life without parole is the next step down, and life imprisonment is the minimum sentence for first-degree murder. The state submits that while there might not be a quantitative difference, who knows how long someone is going to live, but there is a qualitative difference. That is, what does the crimes that you have found Mr. Taylor guilty of, what do they deserve? And you can consider, submit by your verdict, or mention this, you found the aggravating circumstances by your verdict beyond a reasonable doubt. That then allows you, and Judge Dozier will read the instructions, not nearly as long as the first one, that upon that finding, you can consider victim impact testimony. What this man's actions have done to the people who loved Jade Benning and would have loved Ivy and did while she was in the womb. She never got a chance. She never got a chance to know how much she was loved. Mr. Taylor, the judge will tell you, consider mitigating. Okay. Before this, he had no criminal record. That doesn't mean he is not deserving of life without parole under the facts of this case. And again, going back to everything that you heard during the trial. Apple Denny. Apparently, Mr. Taylor was fine with helping out other people's children. He was a good student. No doubt about that. Very smart man, comes from a very well-educated family. A good athlete. Community service. And like I said, good to other people's children. That qualitative difference is that life without parole, the state submits to you, is the appropriate punishment. And you'll really have to decide that and come to on each count. But it is your decision, your collective judgment. There's no, oh, we have to prove this, we have to prove that. Once the existence of an aggravating circumstance is before you, and here we have two, then it is your call. And one of the things, victim impact, and you've got, certainly, his parents didn't raise him to be like this. But the decisions that he has made were his and his alone. His family choose to do so. Visit him. So long as he is alive, talk, communicate, whatever. Because there's a saying, where there's life, there's hope. He's going to be alive. He's going to have hope. He's going to have that sense of living and associating and being, granted, not an environment that any of us would want, but it's of his own choosing, his own making. Jade, Ivy's family never had that opportunity. He took that from them 3.5 years ago, February 25th, 2023. He took something that no one is able to give back. And for that, on behalf of the state of Tennessee, submit that whatever hope of freedom that he should have, he does not deserve, and that he should not receive the minimum punishment for these offenses. Thank you very much.
Arguing on behalf of Mr. Taylor.
Thank you. Life imprisonment is an appropriate punishment for Mr. Taylor. And punishment is what it is. It is not a minimum get off easy kind of sentence. It is life in prison. 51 calendar years at best. That's if you make parole at 80, if he's 30 right now. Yes, in opening I said it's the harshest you have is life without the possibility of parole, and there is death penalty, but this isn't a death penalty case. We knew that at the beginning. It's the harshest option you are considering today. And life imprisonment is incredibly harsh. Living in a concrete box for the next 51 years, that is punishment. He's not getting off. He's not getting off easy. You're not letting him go. He's not walking out of this courtroom. Likely for the rest of his life. Now, looking at the jury verdict, it occurs to me that maybe there is some consideration from the jury that you all think Mr. Taylor intended to kill baby Ivy and maybe didn't have the intent to kill Jade. But he knew he was killing her, or some version of that. Obviously, I'm not in the jury room. I don't know if that matters in your deliberation for this part of it. But if we're talking about what are the worst of the worst of the worst crimes that you get the worst of the worst of the worst punishments, this was a long, incredibly detailed, complicated trial. And you guys heard a lot. You can consider all that when you're making your determinations. The reason that we put on some proof about who is Blaise, what was his family like, what's his upbringing like, what's his community involvement like, is there's kind of a, I don't know if it's a saying, it's something that's talked about in work when you defend someone sitting at that table, that we are more than the worst thing we've ever done. We're people. Blaise is a person. He's got a family. He had a great childhood. He did well in school. He was an all-star athlete. Yeah, he did something horrific. Nothing that can happen here is ever going to change that. Nothing. And he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison no matter what. So you all can go home and rest assured that no matter what you do here today, he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. It doesn't require life without the possibility of parole to send that message, to send that punishment. It's not either we let him off easy or we have to punish him the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. He's being punished. He's getting the message. But he is not someone who has spent his entire life as a criminal. He is someone who's had a good life, who's done good things. I don't have anything to say about it. Did something terrible. There's, let's call it what it is. When you hear the jury instructions, there's going to be a lot of talk about aggravating and mitigating factors. And I said this in my opening, and I'll say it again. If you find aggravating factors, you don't have to find that he gets life without the possibility of parole. It's just something you can consider. Life imprisonment is punishment. It's life in a box. It's life in a prison. It is a message. It is a lot. It is enough. And we would ask you to return for your sentencing that be the appropriate sentence in this case.
Or any rebuttal from this?
Just very, very briefly, it's time to have this jury determine, does he deserve the minimum allowable? Or does this crime Well, these crimes. Mr. Brand argues this is not the worst of the worst. What could be worse than killing your own child and your own child's mother? That is my life without parole. Is an option in this case, and is an option the state of Tennessee would respectfully request you consider and return. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Members of the jury have now found the defendant Blaise Taylor guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of murder in the first degree as charged in counts 2, 3, and 4 of the indictment number 2024A49. It is now your duty to determine within the limits prescribed by law the penalty which shall be imposed as punishment for this offense. Tennessee law provides that a person convicted of a murder in the first degree shall be punished by imprisonment for life without possibility of parole or by imprisonment for life. A defendant who receives a sentence of imprisonment for life shall not be eligible for release until the defendant has served at least 51 full calendar years of such sentence. A defendant who receives a sentence of imprisonment for life without parole shall never be eligible for release. In arriving at this determination, you are authorized to weigh and consider any of the statutory aggravating circumstances proved beyond a reasonable doubt and any mitigating circumstances which may have been raised by the evidence throughout the entire course of this trial, including the guilt-finding phase or sentencing phase or both. The jury is the sole judge of the facts and of the law as it applies to the facts in this case. In arriving at your verdict, you are to consider the law in connection with the facts, but the court is the proper source from which you are to get the law. In other words, you are the judges of the law as well as the facts under the direction of the court. The burden of proof is upon the state to prove any statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Reasonable doubt is that doubt created by an investigation of all the proof in the case and an inability after such investigation to let the mind rest easily as to the certainty of your verdict. Absolute certainty is not demanded by the law, but moral certainty is required, and this certainty is required as to every element of proof necessary to constitute the verdict. The law makes you, the jury, the sole and exclusive judges of the credibility of the witnesses and the weight to be given the evidence. The prosecution has introduced what is known as victim impact evidence. This evidence has been introduced to show the financial, emotional, psychological, or physical effects of the victim's death on the members of the victim's immediate family. You may consider this evidence in determining an appropriate punishment. However, your consideration must be limited to a rational inquiry into the culpability of the defendant, not an emotional response to the evidence. Victim impact evidence is not the same as an aggravated circumstance. Proof of an adverse impact on the victim's family is not proof of an aggravating circumstance. Introduction of this victim impact evidence in no way relieves the state of its burden to prove beyond a reasonable doubt at least one aggravating circumstance which has been alleged. You may consider this victim impact evidence in determining the appropriateness of the sentence only if you first find the existence of one or more aggravating circumstances as has been proven beyond a reasonable doubt by evidence independent from the victim impact evidence. Count 2, statutory aggravating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that no sentence of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole shall be imposed by a jury but upon a unanimous finding that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of one or more of the statutory aggravating circumstances, which shall be limited to the following. 1, the murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age and the defendant was 18 years of age or older. And 2, the murder was knowingly committed, solicited, directed, or aided by the defendant while the defendant had a substantial role in committing or attempting to commit, or was fleeing after having a substantial role in committing or attempted to commit any first-degree murder. Knowingly means that a person acts knowingly with respect to the conduct or circumstances surrounding the conduct when the person is aware of the nature of the conduct or that the circumstances exist. A person acts knowingly with respect to a result of the person's conduct when the person is aware that the conduct is reasonably certain to cause the result. The requirement of knowingly is also established if it is shown that the defendant acted intentionally. Intentionally means that a person acts intentionally with respect to the nature of the conduct or to the result of the conduct when it is the person's conscious objective or desire to engage in the conduct or cause the result. Members of the jury, the court has read to you the aggravated circumstances which the law requires you to consider if you find proved beyond a reasonable doubt. You shall not consider any other facts or circumstances as an aggravating circumstance in deciding whether imprisonment for life without possibility of parole would be appropriate punishment in this case. Mitigating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that in arriving at the punishment, the jury shall consider, as previously indicated, any mitigating circumstances raised by the evidence, which shall include but are not limited to the following. The defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity, and 2, any other mitigating factor which is raised by the evidence produced by either the prosecution or defense at either the guilt or sentencing hearing. That is, you shall consider any aspect of the defendant's character, any aspect of the circumstances of the offense favorable to the defendant, which is supported by the evidence, consisting of A, community involvement, B, education and personal achievements, and C, acts of service. The defendant does not have the burden of proving a mitigating circumstance. There is no requirement of jury unanimity as to any particular mitigating circumstance, or that you agree on the same mitigating circumstance. Count 3, the felony murder involving J. Tristan Benny, statutory aggravating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that no sentence of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole shall be imposed by a jury, but upon a unanimous finding that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of one or more of the statutory aggravating circumstances, which shall be limited to the following. 1, the murder was knowingly committed, solicited, directed, or aided by the defendant while the defendant had a substantial role in committing or attempting to commit, or is fleeing after having a substantial role in committing or attempting to commit any first-degree murder. The definitions of knowingly, intentionally, which apply to this offense, have been previously explained to you in these instructions, and you should refer to those definitions as they apply to this offense. Members of the jury, the court has read to you the aggravating circumstances which the law requires you to consider if you find proved beyond a reasonable doubt. You shall not consider any other facts or circumstances as an aggravated circumstance in deciding whether imprisonment for life without possibility of parole would be an appropriate punishment in this case. Mitigating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that in arriving at the punishment, the jury shall consider, as previously indicated, any mitigating circumstances raised by the evidence, which shall include but are not limited to the following. 1, the defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity, and 2, any other mitigating factor which is raised by the evidence produced by either the prosecution or defense at either the guilt or sentencing hearing. That is, you shall consider any aspects of the defendant's character or any aspect of the circumstances of the offense favorable to the defendant, which is supported by the evidence, consisting of A, community involvement, B, education and personal achievements, and C, acts of service. The defendant does not have the burden of proving a mitigating circumstance. There is no requirement of jury unanimity as to any particular mitigating circumstance, or that you agree on the same mitigating circumstance. Count 4, felony murder involving the victim, the unborn female child of J. Benny, statutory aggravated circumstances. Tennessee law provides that no sentence of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole shall be imposed by a jury, but upon a unanimous finding that the state has proven beyond a reasonable doubt the existence of one or more statutory aggravated circumstances, which shall be limited to the following. 1, the murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age and the defendant was 18 years of age or older. 2, the murder was knowingly committed, solicited, directed, or aided by the defendant while the defendant had a substantial role in committing or attempting to commit, or was fleeing after having substantial role in committing or attempting to commit any first-degree murder. Definitions of knowingly and intentionally which apply to this offense have been previously explained to you in these instructions, and you should refer to those definitions as they apply to this offense. Members of the jury, the court has read to you aggravated circumstances which the law requires you to consider if you find proved beyond a reasonable doubt. You shall not consider any other facts or circumstances as an aggravated circumstance in deciding whether the imprisonment for life without possibility of parole would be appropriate punishment in this case. Mitigating circumstances. Tennessee law provides that in arriving at the punishment, the jury shall consider, as previously indicated, any mitigating circumstances raised by the evidence, which shall include but are not limited to the following. 1, the defendant has no significant history of prior criminal activity. 2, any other mitigating factor which is raised by the evidence produced by either the prosecution or defense at either the guilt or sentencing hearing. That is, you shall consider any aspect of the defendant's character or any aspect of the circumstances of the offense favorable to the defendant which is supported by the evidence, consisting of A, community involvement, B, education and personal achievements, and C, acts of service. The defendant does not have the burden of proving a mitigating circumstance. There is no requirement of jury unanimity as to any particular mitigating circumstance or that you agree on the same mitigating circumstance. The defendant has not taken the stand and testify as a witness during the sentencing hearing, but you should place no significance on this fact. The burden is on the state to prove any aggravated circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. He is not required to take the stand in his own behalf, and his election not to do so cannot be considered for any purpose against him, nor can any inference be drawn from such fact. You will be provided a verdict form consisting of 6 pages. You have 2 sentencing options to consider on each count, and you are not required to deliberate on these sentencing options in any particular order. The options are as follows. Verdict, life imprisonment or life imprisonment without possibility of parole. If you do not unanimously determine that a statutory aggravating circumstance has been proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt, the sentence shall be life imprisonment. You will write your verdict upon the enclosed form attached hereto and made a part of this charge. The verdict shall be as follows. We, the jury, unanimously find that the punishment shall be life imprisonment. If you unanimously determine that a statutory aggravated circumstance or circumstances have been proved by the state beyond a reasonable doubt, you shall, in your considered discretion, sentence the defendant either to imprisonment for life without possibility of parole or to imprisonment for life. In choosing between the sentences of imprisonment for life without possibility of parole and imprisonment for life, you shall weigh and consider the statutory circumstances or circumstances proven by the state beyond a reasonable doubt, and any mitigating circumstance or circumstances. In your verdict, you shall reduce to writing the statutory aggravated circumstance or circumstances so found, and shall return your verdict upon the enclosed form attached hereto and made a part of this charge. The verdict should be as follows. We, the jury, unanimously find that the state has proven the following listed statutory aggravated circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. Here on the verdict form, you would list the statutory aggravated circumstance or circumstances found. You shall then indicate on the enclosed verdict form either we, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life without possibility of parole, or we, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life. The verdict must be unanimous and signed by each juror. The verdict must represent the considered judgment of each juror. In order to return a verdict, it is necessary that each juror agree thereto. Your verdict must be unanimous. It is your duty as jurors to consult with one another, to deliberate with a view to reaching an agreement, if you can do so without violence to individual judgment. Each of you must decide the case for yourself, but do so only after an impartial consideration of the evidence with your fellow jurors. In the course of your deliberations, do not hesitate to re-examine your own views and change your opinion if convinced it is erroneous. But do not surrender your honest conviction as to the weight or effect of the evidence solely because of the opinion of your fellow jurors or for the mere purpose of returning a verdict. You can have no prejudice or sympathy or allow anything but the law and the evidence to have any influence upon your verdict. You must render your verdict with absolute fairness and impartiality as you think justice and truth dictate. You will be provided with a form for all possible sentences in this case. The jury will check the appropriate verdict on the form for each count and complete the form as directed, and each juror will sign the verdict form. The other forms are to be left incomplete and unsigned. Your foreperson will preside over your deliberations, and when you have reached a verdict as to the sentence, you will return to the courtroom and your foreperson will announce it. You must not imagine that the court has any opinion in regard to the facts. It is your duty to find them, and have attempted to read this charge to define to you the law without indicating any opinion about the facts whatsoever. Members of the jury, the charge in this case is herewith handed to you, together with the verdict forms for the punishment for each count and the exhibits. You may now retire and consider your verdict. You can step down the hallway with the court. Anything further from the state?
Did you know that need to be a hearing, sentencing hearing? I don't know if we had a date, we might also be in our
Yeah, in
calendars.
terms of merger and count one,
And,
whatever happened.
yes, Your Honor, and
And we
sentencing.
look at like the week of the August 3rd, like the 5th maybe, or somewhere around there. Discuss that.
Yes, that's all.
Anything further on the jury charge, Mr. Grant?
No, sir.
All right, well,
Gosh, that was the longest jury charge ever. Oh, goodness. So we starting at 2:42. We on verdict watch again? Okay, so I am dropping the link in case anybody wants to come up and talk while we are on verdict watch. If you got anything to say about this case, or I am dropping the link. The floor will be yours. I guess kind of sort of yours. Yes, kind of sort of. You have to share it. Just a little bit. You got to share it just a little bit. Sia said, what you got? Nah, girl. Sia, they got to go back there and think about it. They got to decide what they want to do. I don't know. Does he get LWAP or does he get to go home? Like, what do we have here? Let's see here. I'll put a survey in there because I'm interested to see what you guys think, if he'll get LWAP or if he, what will the Jury decide. Oh, I said you don't even have to have your camera, so I don't want to hear that, Billy. That is not an excuse. Yeah, you don't get that off, boo. Nope, 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 nope. So, was there anybody like? Does anybody have any testimony? Let me say for my people that knew he would be guilty from the beginning. Um, who knew he would not be guilty from the beginning? Can y'all please tell me? Is there a certain testimony, not the opening statements? Please don't say the opening statements, because I'm gonna be dead in the water. Is there a certain point in some testimony that made you feel that he was guilty? Y'all got more excuses than coming on this panel than somebody going to jail. I tell you, all I see is excuses up in the chat. Got more excuses than Blaise had. You got more excuses than the defense team had. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, y'all are something else. Everybody throwing a damn excuse. I take the daggone camera away. Nope, we still got an excuse. Y'all got more. Woo. Y'all should have been up there defending Blaise. Sure, all these excuses, y'all come up real quick. People got jobs they ain't never had, going to work when they ain't never been to work. Oh gosh, y'all. You said, but it's true. Oh, make it up on anything. Oh man, I haven't been able to talk in a week. Like all types of stuff. They catch you on camera talking last week. I call bull. I knew it was coming. Look at Billy talking about some dang on laryngitis. I knew it. I knew it was coming. Apple's testimony. Susie said it was Apple's testimony that had her going. Wow. You say maybe parole after 20 years? AW? Yeah, well, he got to do 51. So, he got to do 51. I just I don't know. I feel like, I kind of feel like this. For I kind of situation, because like if he convicted of it, he did it, and no matter what he thought that it was gonna be, he done sat around here, he done played around, not once but twice. So here we go. You asked for it, and now here you got it. So y'all say Apple's testimony? See, I don't know. I mean, I remember Apple's testimony, but I don't want to say that. I don't think that did it for me. I think that what may have like put me over on everything was more of her friend's testimony. I don't know. Besides I wanted to look at Keontae all the time, but I mean that's neither here nor there. That's me and Keontae's business. But yeah, that was more of my thing. I thought it was yeah, I thought it was her testimony in my opinion, but yeah, Billy said apples didn't do it for it didn't do it for me either. I think that I was more impressed with I thought it was the friend's testimony. You said sour apple she was scoring and jealous, really? You think so? Line. Keontae always speaking. He always speak. Whenever you think, don't even think he's speaking, boo, he's speaking. Really? I didn't get that from her. Oh gosh. And I want to see what you see. I didn't get that from her. And she looked just the same in her testimony this time as she was before. Like, oh, the recording? Which recording? Because we didn't have, I don't think, we didn't have a, are you talking about the 911 call? Let me see. Let's see here.
What did you do?
How many minutes is this? Let me see. I don't even know if I got her whole testimony separated. Let me see if I got it separated. I can't remember if I separated it. Oh yeah, I did separate it because I did it as a premiere. Let me see. I don't know what you can do about this testimony. Like, shit, if he didn't do it, he did do it. I'm gonna replay her testimony. Hopefully, y'all can hear it. Since ain't nobody coming up here. Okay, and I do have a side note question, guys. Is Little Rock, Arkansas, real close to Tennessee? Because I'm just trying to figure out, like, are they close? Because I don't know. Y'all learn. I don't know anything about maps. And they seem like they very close. Probably an hour. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm just wondering if they close. But okay, here we go. Okay, a couple hours drive. Okay, because I'm like, why is everybody like, this is like the first hot spot that they going to. Okay. You said you can't hear? Okay. Here I come. It may be because of the way it, let me stop it and let me share it again. My apologies. Sometimes when I'm sharing different screens, it stops the sound.
What type of person was she?
Jade was a very outgoing, charismatic, go with the flow type of girl. A girl that like never met a stranger. She didn't care your socioeconomic background. She didn't care your gender, your race. She would meet anyone and become their friend the same day.
And growing up with her, did you guys have a type of friendship where you shared even kind of like secrets, stuff that you wouldn't tell other people? And in college, or I guess high school, did she play any sports?
She was a cheerleader.
Did you play any sports?
I was a cheerleader.
Was it a competition cheerleader squad?
Yes, we did both competitive cheer and high school cheer.
And when y'all were graduating from high school, what happened after that? What happened with you?
I moved to Fayetteville to go to the University of Arkansas, and Jade went to University of Central Arkansas in Conway.
And did she stay at that school?
She did not.
What did Jade end up doing before completing her degree that she started?
She went to Brightwater Culinary School.
And where is that culinary school at?
In Bentonville, Arkansas.
And was that something that she had talked to you about wanting to do?
Yes, she did. It was we were trying to figure out what we wanted to do, and ultimately she was like, I think I want to go to culinary school. I was like, okay.
And after she was in culinary school, when did you finish with your degree?
In 2020.
And what did you do after you graduated?
I moved back to Little Rock, and I was a dental assistant.
And what was your degree in?
Biology.
And after that time, I guess you worked as a dental assistant. Did you decide to go back to school?
I did.
When was that?
In 2022.
And where did you decide to go to school?
Here in Medical College.
Can you describe what was going on with Jade kind of around that same time?
Jade was a chef at Ernest. She was like head chef and just chefing it up, doing all the things, running Ernest.
And was she living here in Nashville?
Yes.
Can you describe what were your feelings about when you realized that you were going to be moving to Nashville?
I was really excited because I knew I had a friend here and I wasn't alone anymore. And we would be able to reconnect since our departure when she moved to Nashville and I was still in Little Rock.
And when did you relocate to Nashville, Tennessee?
In August of 2022.
And at that time, was Jade already living here?
Yes.
And once you moved here, did you talk to her kind of even more than you normally did?
Yes, I did.
Would you characterize it as almost daily?
Yes.
And at some point, after you moved here, how did you first hear about her dating Blaise Taylor?
She told me she kind of met him a couple months prior to, and it was kind of just, small little conversations. And then when I moved here, she was telling me about this guy she had been seeing.
And do you know how they met?
On Hinge.
And what is Hinge?
Hinge is a dating app.
And if she saw him for a date or went over to his house, would she tell you about it?
Yes.
And did she tell you about it often in the beginning?
Yes.
Can you describe what was her kind of attitude and outlook towards him?
She described him as somebody that was like kind of different from her usual type. She was very like optimistic as to like where this could go. She was really enjoying their hangouts and their conversations. So I was like, all right, well, let's see where it goes.
Did she express to you that she wanted to be in a relationship with him?
At a point in time, yes.
And at some point before she found out she was pregnant, so before that, did something happen that kind of changed that positive, optimistic outlook about the possible future with Mr. Taylor?
You said before she found out she was pregnant? There were a couple of incidents at his home with a previous girl.
Objection, Your Honor. May we approach?
Okay.
Frame when Did some
Yes, I did. I did indeed.
And what did you do to kind of assist Miss Benning with this new news in her life?
Well, I was telling her because these were at-home pregnancy tests, yes, they are positive, but I think that we should probably go to a clinic to verify. So I was looking at clinics in the surrounding area to see where we could get her in to get an ultrasound.
And were you able to get her an appointment that same day?
Yes.
And was it the very same day or was it the next day?
It was the next day.
Okay. So were you trying to get her an appointment the same day?
I was trying to get her an appointment the same day, but was told we don't do same day appointments.
And did you go with her to that appointment?
I did.
And do you remember the date of it?
November the 3rd.
And what happened at that appointment?
They took her back and did vitals, and then I was telling her, don't wait on me to get there so I can be with you for the ultrasound because I wanted to hear the heartbeat with her. And
did you make it?
Yes, I did. And I went to the back with her, and the nurse was asking her if she wanted to, well, I asked her if she wanted to hear the heartbeat, and the nurse kind of verified with her decision, and we heard the heartbeat. And they were measuring like the baby size and confirming like how many weeks she was.
Ms. Jackson, were they able to tell Ms. Benning how many weeks pregnant she was?
Yes.
And was that something where you and her discussed kind of dates when it would have happened?
Yes.
And when they gave you that information, did you know who would have been the father of that baby?
Yes.
And do you still have all of your text messages with Jake?
I do.
And was that something where y'all were going through your phones, looking at dates, making sure like when she was where, all of those things in that moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Objection legal.
Okay, she's answered it, so go ahead without leading the question.
And after that day, did you know what contact Ms. Benning had with Mr. Taylor about learning that she was pregnant and then finding out the exact timing of it?
Yes.
And can you describe, did you read any text messages she had? Did you just talk to her about it? Or kind of how did you get information about her talking to him about it?
She sent me screenshots of his response. She called me to kind of tell me that they were going to have a conversation. So I was pretty much in the loop from day one as to what was going on in her pregnancy.
And can you describe, after she met with Mr. Taylor, what was her attitude after speaking with him?
She was very upset, very disappointed. Obviously it wasn't planned, but I think the response that he gave her was not what she was not necessarily looking for, but hoping for just in terms of a conversation. It seemed more so like he was just not really interested.
Objection going into a hearsay response. No way she could know that without Jake's.
Okay.
She was not stating his word, Your Honor, which would be hearsay. She was describing.
This Benning. So go ahead.
Ms. Benning, after she talked to him, you were describing that she was disappointed with his response.
Yes.
What was her outlook and attitude even after speaking with him and getting his response?
I feel like Jay was still very hopeful. She was still like, you know what, like if this is how he's gonna act, then I'm just gonna kind of move forward with my life. Like she definitely had a positive outlook on the situation, although his response was very underwhelming.
Did you have any involvement in the last message that Ms. Benning sent Mr. Taylor?
I did.
In November. And
Yes.
Can you describe that?
She was pretty much like, she sent me a text that she was gonna send him, basically saying how she was feeling towards the situation, and she sent it to me, and I edited a little bit to kind of be more forward and for her to say what it was that she really wanted to say, and just kind of get her feelings out there regardless of what he was going to say or not.
And did she share with you kind of proof that she sent that message to him?
Yes.
And did he respond?
I don't remember.
Okay. would that have been close in time to that November 3rd appointment?
Yes.
After she sent that message, are you aware if they talked afterwards in November?
Yes.
And were they talking like on a regular basis, or what do you know about the communication that they had after she sent that text?
The communication between the two of them was very one-sided. Based on the responses that I read, it kind of was in terms of Blaise not really wanting Jay to do certain things, and not like saying he was trying to persuade her not to have the baby, but his response was not in a collaborative effort with wanting to raise the child with her.
And I guess, what was Jay doing about telling other people initially? She told you.
Mm-hmm.
Did she tell anyone else kind of in the beginning, just the first week?
I believe she told her mom, her dad, and I think that's all I remember.
What was your outlook when she told you that Mr. Taylor didn't want to be involved? What was your outlook, and what were you doing kind of with your relationship with Miss Biddy?
I told her that we're sisters at the end of the day. So I don't have to be the babysitter. I was like, we will get through this together. I always reassured her that she's never alone. We were both living alone at that time, and her lease was coming to an end. And I was telling her, if we need to live together, if I need to help you, then I will. I went to the appointment.
Did you guys end up getting a place together, or what ended up happening?
No, unfortunately, she ditched me on that plan, but she moved into a 2-bedroom apartment so Ivy could have her own room, and she was like, you're in school, so she found an apartment that could house the both of them comfortably.
And during that time, kind of after mid-November and December and through the holiday, was Miss Benning planning things for that new apartment and moving?
Yes.
Did she share a lot of that information with you by text message, video calls, and phone calls?
Yes.
And then can you describe, did y'all see each other over Christmas?
We did not.
And when the kind of new year began in January, can you describe what happened?
She got word from Blaise, and he reached out to her wanting to talk to her, and she was very optimistic about what was going to be said, and that is kind of the basis of that whenever the January 1st came around.
And was there a break of time where she had not communicated with him at all?
Yes.
And was that at least 5 to 6 weeks?
Yes.
And you said she was hopeful. Do you know if she met with him and saw him?
She did.
And did she see him every day, or can you kind of describe what information did you have about the contact that they had with each other?
From my understanding and from what I was told, it wasn't every single day, but they were definitely back in communication, not normal as it was before she found out she was pregnant, but it appeared to be kind of heading in a direction of which, okay, where are we going with this? And she was very optimistic of the fact that maybe he might actually be coming back around.
And did you try to support her?
I did.
Did you actually want her to, I guess not want her to get back with Mr. Taylor, but were you a little apprehensive?
A little, but I feel because it made her happy, that ultimately that made me happy for her.
And did she tell you kind of every time that she saw him after they started talking again in January?
Yes.
And did she give you specific details about that in messages and on phone calls and things like that?
Yes.
And can you describe what all was Jade planning in that January-February time frame as it related to her baby?
We were planning baby showers. Her birthday was coming up, so we were going to have a baby shower in Nashville and one in Little Rock. So we were kind of delegating tasks on who was going to be the coordinator of the Little Rock one and who was going to be the coordinator of the Nashville baby shower.
And were there appointments related to her pregnancy that happened in February?
Yes.
Which I want to back up a little bit. You talked about going to that November 3rd, very first appointment with her. Did you go to another appointment with her kind of in the beginning, before the end of the year?
Yes.
And was that the November 16th appointment?
Yes.
So January, February, you're planning baby showers. Do you remember when she got her new apartment?
Yes.
And specifically, I guess technically it was a condo, but was it a 2-bedroom versus a 1-bedroom?
2-bedroom.
And was she planning things for the baby's room?
Yes.
Do you remember when she found out if she was having a boy or a girl?
Yes.
And what did she find out?
She was having a girl.
Did you discuss with Ms. Benning names and things like that?
Yes.
Were you able to go to that appointment with her?
The February 2nd one? I was not.
And during that time when she went to the appointment, found that out, was she talking to you about kind of what was going on with her and Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
And did you have any information about whether or not he went to that appointment with her?
Yes.
Judge, also your second.
Okay, you carry the card.
I did not ask her what anyone said. I asked her if she had any information.
There would be no way she would.
Okay, well, she's not answered yea or nay, but I'll sustain it.
During that time when Jade found out that she was having a baby girl, can you describe what Jade was doing kind of as far as social media and publicizing the fact that she was pregnant and who the father was?
She never did.
Never. And can you explain, do you know why?
Ultimately, based on the conversations with her and Blaise, I think Jade was very apprehensive to share things based on his reaction.
Judge, I'm trying to get to the spending state of mind.
Okay, we'll rephrase your question.
So you said she never was posting to social media. Was, I guess, based off of your close friendship with her, was she unhappy about the pregnancy or was she happy about it?
She was happy about it.
Did you feel like if circumstances were different, she would have posted to social media?
Yes.
I mean, was that something that she regularly did?
Yes.
Was it unusual that she was not?
Yes.
Did she continue to express kind of happiness and optimism about the baby coming?
Yes.
And can you describe, did she have additional appointments in February that you were aware of?
Yes.
Did you go to any of those? And what was going on with you at that time? So we're in February of 2023. You had moved here to go to McGarry. What was your schedule like and kind of what was going on with you then?
I was a full-time student, so my day consisted of studying, exams, going over test questions, and at that point in time, I was preparing for a really big exam.
And do you know Mr. Keontae Jones?
Yes.
And how do you know him?
He's my classmate.
In February 2023, did you spend time with him in school studying?
Yes.
Kind of going to that time frame of that Saturday, February 25th, had you been at Jade's apartment earlier that week?
Yes.
And can you describe why you were there and what happened?
I went so she could straighten my hair, and she was showing me around her apartment and just kind of showing me where she was going to put things. We went to the baby's room and she was showing me the things that she had ordered from or got from Facebook Marketplace. The ultrasound was kind of out. It was just giving all things girl mom preparing for a baby.
And you said that Ms. Benning wasn't posting to social media. Would she send messages to you and her other close friends?
Yes.
And did you receive a lot of pictures from Ms. Benning?
I did.
I guess, can you describe them? What type of pregnancy pictures did she typically send you?
She would send pictures at the gym, holding her belly. She would send pictures of her at home, videos, and she was kind of almost like documenting it. Like, she would say how many weeks she was in a couple of videos, and she would like rub on her belly and was just like loving on her.
And that Monday night, or not Monday night, but it was 2 days before, so that Thursday night, you said you went to her apartment. Is that right?
Yes.
And y'all walked all around that apartment. And then on that Saturday, February 25th.
Wait a minute. I think I hear sound out of the courtroom. Yeah, I think I hear sound out of the courtroom. Let me see. Shoot, they may be back.
Can you describe what happened that day and kind of how you ended up getting over there?
That day, I spent pretty much my entire day at school studying for an exam that I had on Monday. We were just there pretty much until like maybe 6:37, and Jade and I were texting, and she asked me if I had paint, and I was like, no, I don't. I was like, what are you doing with the paint? And she's telling me how she was gonna do a paint night with her and Blaise since they weren't able to hang out the weekend before. And she was saying that she was going to cook dinner, and she asked me what she should cook, and I told her she should make chicken Alfredo. And
Is there a reason you suggested that?
personally, it's my favorite. And if she's going to be cooking for somebody, I was like, you should, cook your best meal.
And at some point, I guess, how did you end up going over there?
It was a very spontaneous whim for me to go there. I was just hanging out with some friends after we were studying in front of campus, and they had ordered food that I didn't want. And so I was like, oh, I'll just go eat at Jade, just get food from Jade's house. So I called her and I was like, hey, what y'all doing? I was like, I'm about to come by and get some food. And she was like, okay. And then I told her that Keontae was going to come with me. And that's how I ended up over there.
And were you planning on going over there and sitting down to eat, or what was the plan?
I just planned on picking it up and leaving, saying hi and bye. I didn't plan on dining in with them.
And on that February 25th of 2023, had you ever met Blaise Taylor?
Not in person.
And describe kind of how that happened. You were with Keontae, and y'all had been at school.
Yes.
Did you go straight to Jade's?
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do when you got here?
When we got there, we said hi, and Jade started packing up the food, and she put the foil on it, put it in a bag, and kind of set it off to the side. And we were just chit-chatting about what they were going to paint, and we talked about going to a concert, and we were laughing at the fact that I didn't know how to play spades. So that was pretty much the basis of the conversation.
And can you describe Jade's kind of kitchen area when you got there? Was there food out that they were eating, or kind of what was the setup when you got there?
When I got there, the food was on the stove. It was kind of packaged. The canvases were kind of off to the side. The island was pretty clear. I didn't, and Jade had a glass of a pink drink, and Blaise wasn't drinking anything. There was no cup in front of Blaise.
And did you drink anything while you were there?
I didn't drill.
Was that something you brought with you?
I did not.
What was Mr. Taylor doing, and where was he at in the room?
He was sitting beside Jade at the island, and he was engaging with some of the conversations, and he was just shuffling Uno cards the whole time.
Was anybody playing Uno?
No.
But he was shuffling cards.
Mm-hmm.
And did Mr. Jones, did he interact with Mr. Taylor?
Yeah, ever so slightly. It was kind of a conversation just in the kitchen.
And do you know approximately how long y'all stayed?
Probably a little over 15 minutes, 15 or 30 minutes.
And during that time, did anything seem amiss to you?
Nothing too alarming except the comment he made about his artwork that he was going to make, because the whole basis of this project was to make something for the baby's room.
It's a statement by the defendant, Your Honor.
Okay, I don't think she's gotten there yet, but do you want to ask about what?
Yes. He said that he made a comment about the painting he was going to do. What was his comment?
I had asked what they were going to paint, and Jake was like, I'm going to make something.
Do you care to be heard on?
I think it's unnecessary, so no. I do think it goes to Jade's state of mind, Your Honor, but.
All right, I'll over the objection. It goes into, was that comment from Mr. Taylor right after the discussion with the artwork with Ms. Benny?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
What did Ms. Benning say she was planning on painting?
She said that she was going to paint something for the baby's room. She didn't know what yet, but she knew that's what she was going to paint, something to hang in Ivy's room. And when I asked Blaise what he was going to paint, he told me he was going to paint a black hole. And I was like, a black hole? And he was like, yeah, I'm going to call it midnight. The further you look, the deeper you'll go. And I was like, well, okay, But I was like, well, why don't we just add like a little bit of white to the, canvas to make it look a little lively. And that was kind of that. But it was a very dark demeanor about this painting after Jade said that she was going to make something for the baby's room.
And were they actually painting while you were there?
No.
So this was discussions about what we're about to do?
Yes.
And was anything else in this other than the comment that you made about the painting?
Not that I can think of or remember.
And did you get food?
I did.
And did y'all leave?
We did.
And after you left, did you communicate with Jade after you left?
Yes.
And you don't have to tell me what you said, but how did you communicate with her?
I texted her.
And did she respond?
Yes.
And did you have a couple of texts back and forth?
Yes.
And can you describe Jade's demeanor when you left?
She seemed really happy, very excited to spend the rest of the night with Blaise, and probably excited that I was leaving now.
When you left, where did you go?
To Keontae's house.
And what did you do when you got there?
I ate my chicken Alfredo.
And were you planning on hanging out with Mr. Jones all night, or what was your kind of plan for that night?
No, I just stopped by. We were just studying, got food. We were just like hanging out, and I was about to go home.
And did you actually leave Mr. Jones's house?
I did.
Did you stop anywhere before you got home?
Yes.
And where did you stop?
A gas station.
And what, if anything, happened while you were there?
I was pumping gas. And as I was walking back to my car, I get a phone call from Jade. And I answered it. And I was like, hello? Just normal. And she immediately starts saying, what did you do? What did you put in my drink? Then I heard her say, Blaise, you're scaring me. And he was like, you're scaring me. And she was like, I know you put something in my drink. She's like, I knew my drink tasted funny. And she was asking him to empty his pockets. And she was like, let me see what's in your pockets. Let me see. And he was like, I don't have anything. So this whole time I'm like, Jade, like trying to get a response from her. So because I didn't get a response from her, I texted her and I was like, are you talking to me? What's going on? And then she was like, I know you put something in my drink because I can't even walk straight. She was saying that she couldn't feel her legs. And then she said it again. And she was like, you put something in my drink. You did this so something happened to me.
Or give it just, you need to clean it. I won't everybody be able to hear you, number one, but then let you calm down. Okay.
Can you repeat the last thing that you heard Jade say?
She said that you did this so something could happen to the baby.
Did she say anything else?
She was saying I'm about to pass out. And then like towards the end of the conversation, she was like, is key. And then nothing else. She was like saying, it was very weighty, and she was like, I heard is, and I heard with, and I heard key. And so I then merged Keontae on the phone because I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with Jade. Like, something sounds wrong. Like, listen to her. And he's like, Jade, like, I'm here. And at that point, you just really couldn't understand what she was saying anymore.
Ms. Jackson, I want to kind of go back. At the beginning of the call, when you could understand Jade, can you describe, based off of your experience, how did she sound?
She sounded like very scared. She did not sound like herself. She sounded like she needed help.
Did you say she sounded like she needed help?
Yes.
When she was saying the things that you just described to, did she say some of those phrases more than once?
Yes.
And you said at the beginning, she said, Blaise, you're scaring me.
Yes.
And you heard him respond. Did he respond to any of the other phrases that she was saying to him?
The only thing he responded to was when she said that he was scaring her. He then said, like, you're scaring me. And then when he was asking her if she had any, when she was asking if he had anything in his pockets and for him to show her, he was like, I don't have anything. And that was kind of all he said.
So you could hear him on that call?
Yes.
And that's all he said during that whole time that Jade made all of those statements, that
Yes.
she couldn't feel her legs, and she's asking him, what's in your hand, showing her pockets, what did you put in my drink? I knew my drink tasted funny. He did not provide a response to any of that.
No.
And can you describe that call as a 6 minute and 9 second call? Kind of at what point, is it just at the end, those last few words that you really couldn't understand her?
Yes.
And you said you heard her say kind of 3 words. What were those again?
I heard is, I heard with, and I heard key.
And did you try to connect that to what that could possibly mean?
Yes. I didn't understand what she was saying, but because she sounded so scared and Keontae was just there, we all called him Key. So I was like,
So crazy right now. You can hear what's going on in the courtroom, but you can't see nothing. I guess they don't know they had the mics on. So that's why I keep thinking that they didn't came back. But side note, oh my gosh, for those that did not think that this testimony convinced you, I need to understand why. Christian, I need to know what in this testimony, or what do you think? What do we feel? In regards to this one, like I can't pick out nothing in this. I can't pick out nothing in this. It sounds like she telling the truth. I know some people said that, nah, this is a whole bunch of BS. And I didn't heard it from multiple people saying that they just didn't believe her testimony, for whatever reason. That she was scorned, jealous, all types of different things. But wow, like hearing it again, man, I can almost feel it. Like she can almost hardly contain her sniffles. Wow. Okay, let's go finish listening. We are listening to it on a faster speed, guys, so just in case it looks a little funny.
okay, like she's obviously scared, like she needs him to help her because she's with another man and Keontae is a man. So when I added him on the phone, he's talking to her and
Is she responding at all?
no.
At any time did you think that Jade Benning was saying those phrases to you?
No.
And you heard Mr. Taylor respond and you heard her say to Blaise, you're scaring me.
Yes.
How did that call end?
The phone hung up.
Did you hang up?
No.
At any point did Mr. Taylor say anything to you?
No.
And what did you do after that line got cut?
I called back.
Did you call back more than once?
Yes.
At some point, and you're calling back Ms. Benning's phone, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you have Blaise Taylor's phone to call him?
No.
At some point, was her phone answered?
Yes.
And who answered it when you called back?
Blaise.
And can you describe what was said in that phone call?
I answered the phone, and well, he answered the phone, and I was like, Blaise, like, what's going on? What's going on? Like, FaceTime me. Like, let me see her. And he doesn't FaceTime me, but he tells me that he's about to call 911.
Did you ask him several times to FaceTime you?
Yes.
And you said that you asked him what was going on. Did he answer you?
He just kept saying, I don't know. I don't know.
Do you remember him saying anything else on that call?
There was a point where he asked me if she had an EpiPen.
Did that make any sense to you?
Not at all.
Did Jade have any allergies?
Not to my knowledge.
And at that moment, can you describe, do you know what's actually going on with Jade?
No.
So what do you do?
After Blaise tells me that he's calling 911, he's like, I gotta go. Like, I'm calling 911. The phone disconnects again. That was not on me. And then I called Jade's mother.
And Ms. Jackson, do you remember, was Keontae Jones on that second call? Do you remember that specifically? And when I say second call, the call where you called her and Blaise Taylor answered?
Yes.
And do you remember if Keontae said anything to him or if he said anything back?
He was asking him, what did he do?
And you said that call got disconnected, but not by you.
Yes.
And then you immediately called Jade Benning's mother.
Yes.
And were you still at the gas station, or what were you doing?
I was on the interstate trying to get to Jade's apartment.
And did you make it to Jade's apartment?
Yes.
Can you describe when you got there what was going on?
When I pulled up, the ambulance was already outside. Jade was in the truck. Her head was to the side. And they were doing CPR. So I'm still on the phone with Bridget at this point, and I'm trying to give her something, but I can't see her face. She's just really pale. She still has on the pajamas that she was wearing when I left. And Blaise is going back and forth, and I'm just like, what happened? What happened? And then the EMT comes around and tells me that we all need to go to Vanderbilt.
Could you tell if Jade Benning was conscious?
No.
Did she look conscious?
No.
And you said that you saw Mr. Taylor go back and forth. Can you describe what was his demeanor like when you saw him by the ambulance outside?
It was just like very anxious, kind of panicky, but he couldn't answer. He couldn't tell me what was going on, what was said. Like, I had no idea what he even called 911 and said at this point in time. And when they tell us to leave, then we both leave and meet them at the ER.
So he didn't tell you anything that happened?
No.
After you left?
No.
And do you drive to the ER?
Yes.
Do you see him again?
Yes.
And can you describe that?
I see him again in the parking lot when we get to the ER, and when we walk into checking in at the hospital. Again, I'm still on the phone with Jade's mom, and we go to the check-in, and they're asking who are we here to see. I say Jade Benning, and they ask what's her date of birth. But they were asking our relation to the patient, and I said that's my best friend, and he told them that this was his girlfriend, and I had never heard that before. And so at this point, I'm very, very confused. I'm still trying to process and understand what I just heard on the phone. So then they asked for the patient's birthday, and since this is your girlfriend, tell her Jade's birthday, and he couldn't tell them her birthday. So I then provided that information for them.
Did he tell them anything about what happened?
The check-in?
Yes.
No.
But you said he referred to her as his girlfriend?
Yes.
Did you believe them to be in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship?
No.
Did you ever heard anything about that?
No.
What was his kind of demeanor like to you? Was he kind of leaning on you for comfort, asking you things about Jade, or what was going on? What was he saying?
We'd like to be our objection.
Okay, you kind of had a compound question there. You're asking this young lady what was Mr. Taylor's demeanor?
Yes, what was his demeanor and was
She
he saying?
can answer that.
What was his demeanor? It was not looking for comfort. It was almost like he was just trying to figure out what was going on, but not necessarily.
Okay, by demeanor, she's talking about emotions or quiet, not what your interpretation of.
Okay, was not crying. His demeanor was very calm per se, but more in terms of like trying to figure out what was going on, but not about the status of Jade's.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, also objection. What's your next question?
Was he asking questions of the people at the hospital?
I don't know.
You don't remember him asking them?
No.
What were you doing?
Trying to get some answers as to what just happened, what was Jade's state. I had nothing. So I was in the room, we were in the room in the hospital, and I was just trying to figure out what was going on.
Did you provide the hospital staff with identifying information about Jade?
Yes.
Did they ask you questions about her?
Yes.
And did you provide them with information about kind of her pregnancy and things like that?
Yes.
And you said that you were in a room with the.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anybody else in that room?
Not at that time.
And did you speak to him? And
Yes.
kind of what were you saying? What was his response?
I was asking him what was going on, like what happened. He kind of wasn't really giving me anything. He kind of explained a little bit like that didn't feel good. And at this point, Keontae then calls again and is asking what's going on, and obviously very flustered and upset. And Keontae then asked to speak to Blaise.
Did you give the phone to Keontae?
Yes. Well,
Can you describe, you said that Mr. Taylor said that Miss wasn't feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember anything specific about that?
he said that she felt woozy. She felt woozy and needed to lie.
And that term woozy, was that something that you're to you?
No.
Is that something that Jade had you used that word?
No.
Did he say anything else about what happened?
He said that they danced, that they ate, they played games, and then they painted, and then she felt woozy and she needed to lie down, and that she threw up.
At what point, kind of in the progression of events that night, he say that she threw up?
When other hospital staff came in and they were basically asking both of us kind of what happened from each of our perspectives. And when he's explaining it to someone, he then adds that in there. But I had known that she had thrown up prior to that statement.
Was that the first time you ever heard him say that?
Yes.
And is it fair to say you had asked him a multitude of times what happened?
Yes.
And so you're present when he's telling the hospital staff about what happened?
Yes.
Does he ever tell them what you heard Jade say to him on that phone call?
No.
At some point, did you tell him?
I did.
And was he there when you told him?
Yes.
What, if anything, did he say when you told them what Jade said to you?
He started talking over me and then says, "You act like you care about her more than I do, and that's the mother of my child."
Can you explain what did that statement mean to you based off of what you knew?
Can you ask that one more time?
That statement, was that a normal statement or an unusual statement?
Unusual.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. She's already stated she doesn't know Mr. Taylor. This was the first time she met him.
Okay. Do you want to rephrase your question? Because I understood that.
Had you ever heard him say that before?
No.
Did you find that to be, I guess, can you describe, what did you think when he said that?
Objection, irrelevant.
Care to be heard on the relevant?
Yes, Your Honor, I think the context of their relationship is state of mind. I think that it's relevant
You're
to
asking
the
her to
answer.
interpret that. I'll sustain the objection.
What did you do at that point?
I At that point, I tried to stay away from him as much as I could because that upset me.
Why did it upset you?
Because she's my best friend, and that didn't matter about the relationship. Like, we should be focusing on her health and the baby's health, not about who was closer to her in that moment.
Did you tell multiple people at the hospital about what Jade said on that phone call to him?
Yes.
And at some point, did police officers arrive?
Yes.
And did you speak with them?
Yes.
And did you speak with multiple officers?
Yes.
Did you tell them about the phone call?
Yes.
And at some point, did a detective show up?
Yes.
And did you meet with him?
Yes.
And was that separate from Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
And did you give him a statement about everything that Jade said to him on that call that you heard?
Yes.
And at some point that night, did you leave the hospital?
Yes.
And can you describe when did you do that?
Maybe around like 2 a.m.
And what, if anything, did you do?
I left and went home and was trying to make sense of what I just heard.
At any point, did you see Mr. Keontae Jones again that night?
Yes.
And can you describe that?
He picked me up. I was telling him that I just felt uncomfortable because at this point it was just Blaise and I and a couple other people, and I just didn't want to be there anymore. So I asked him to come and pick me up.
And can you describe, did anyone else that knew Jade show up at the hospital before you left?
Yes.
And who showed up?
Lauren and Natalie.
And did you know them?
Yes.
How did you know them?
I met them through Jade. They were her coworkers.
At some point, did you go back to Jade's apartment?
Yes.
And when did you do that?
Maybe like a day or so after.
And did you go by yourself or did you go with other people?
Other people.
Your Honor, may I have permission to publish a portion of Exhibit 14 to this witness?
Oh, possibly your computer? Or not, okay.
For the record, I'm publishing video 1 from Exhibit 14. Mr. Jackson, do you recognize what's shown in this video?
Yes.
And what is
Jade's kitchen, and it's the dinner that she made that night.
And do you remember why y'all were videoing this?
Because I was very adamant on going to her apartment because I had just seen her an hour prior to this phone call. So I wanted to see if there was something happened, if there was any sign of struggle or kind of what happened here.
And this video, is that exactly the way that it looked when you left?
No.
And now I am showing video
What's
number
different?
4. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to that.
Oh, okay.
I'm showing video number 4. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And specifically, is there anything about this video that stood out to you?
The camera and the blinds.
And explain what you mean by that.
Every time that I've been at Jade's apartment, that white camera has been in her kitchen area. So I was very concerned as to why it was moved in her bedroom. Jade also lived on the first floor, so I was confused as to why her blinds were up and the camera was facing outward. She kept the camera in the kitchen, I'm sorry, because the front door was right there. So this was very alarming because Jade would never leave her blinds up like that, especially at night with the camera moved away from, can't see anything there.
Had you ever seen the camera in that location at this apartment or even the previous apartment?
No.
I'm going to go back to video number 1. Ms. Jackson, can you describe where is it that camera normally would be?
To the right of the Happiness is Homemade sign.
And if you touch that monitor in front of you, it will actually make a mark so you can mark this
Wait.
specific spot that you're referring to?
Right here? Oh. Oh, my bad.
You need to redo it.
Is that where it was when you had been there earlier?
Yes.
And so when you were there earlier that night, the camera,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you came back, it was in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Can you describe what, if anything, did you do related to that camera and the blinds that we saw in her bedroom?
I moved the camera back to where it was, and I put the blinds back down.
So you moved the camera and put it back
Where?
right by the stove.
Yes.
And why did you do that?
Because I was not sure if
Oh, so much, Gabber. All right, here we go. That's what friends are for. Thank you so much.
We, the jury, unanimously find that the state has proven the following listed statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. 1, the murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age and defendant was 18 or older. 2, the murder was knowingly committed, solicited, directed, or aided by defendant while defendant had a substantial role in committing first-degree murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life.
And that is
Count 2.
Okay.
For count 3, we, the jury, unanimously find the state has proven the following listed statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. 1, the murder was knowingly committed, solicited, directed, or aided by the defendant while the defendant had a substantial role in committing or attempting any first-degree murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life. And for count 4, we, the jury, unanimously find that the state has proven the following listed statutory aggravating circumstance or circumstances beyond a reasonable doubt. 1, the murder was committed against a person less than 12 years of age and the defendant was 18 or older. 2, the murder was knowingly committed, solicited, directed, or aided by the defendant while the defendant had a substantial role in committing any first-degree murder. We, the jury, unanimously agree that the defendant shall be sentenced to imprisonment for life.
All right, and that's signed by each of the jurors.
Correct.
All right, you can turn that document into the court staff. Anything further from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Anything further on behalf of Mr. Taylor?
No, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I appreciate very much your service for the last week plus to the court and your community. You'll be discharged from this case and from your jury service. You can step down the hallway with the court officer. All right, Mr. Taylor, you have a seat. Mr. Taylor, you've heard the verdict in terms of the punishment. Counts 2, 3, and 4, that the jury's imposing a life sentence in each of those counts. That verdict will become the judgment of the court. We'll set this on 9/9 for any sentencing issues, merger issues. And if that date doesn't work, Mr. Brand, just let us know in advance.
Thank you.
All right, let Mr. Taylor step in the back. All right, we'll be adjourned.
Yeah, I'm almost sure that's life without parole because they would have said life without parole. They said to life. Yeah, I'm almost sure it's life without parole. Yeah, because if so, they would have they didn't say, life with parole. They said life. Yeah, yeah, he done. He real done. Oh, well.
Whoa, yeah! Woo! Courtroom packed and the cameras on. Folks all whispering won't be long. No more smirks and no more lies. Judge looked down with narrowed eyes. Bailiff waiting by the side door. Steel-toed footsteps on the courtroom floor. Whole chat buzzing like the verdict dropped, but the jury room still got them locked. Hear the cell doors locked. No parole boy, baby, round the clock. One-way trip and the bus won't stop. Everybody clap to the L-Wop-Bop, L-Wop-Bop. No appeal gonna save you. Orange jumpsuit, tailor-made flavor. Sink that feeling when the gavel drop. That's the rhythm of the L-Wop-Bop. That's the rhythm of the L-Wop-Bop. Mama crying in the second row. Defense still talking, but it's moving slow. State brought receipts and the pressure's steep. Now the whole room barely even breathes. Used to talk big for the TV lights. Now it's long breaks and uneasy nights. Woo! Funny how the swagger disappeared before a single word got cleared. L-Wop-Bop-Bop. Hear the cell doors lock. No parole board, baby, round the clock. One-way trip and the bus won't stop. Everybody clap to the L-Wop-Bop, L-Wop-Bop-Bop. No appeal gonna save you. Orange jumpsuit, tailor-made flavor. Sink that feeling when the gavel drop. That's the rhythm of the L-Wop-Bop. Hey, 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 hey. The L-Wop-Bop. Hey, 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 hey. That's the rhythm of the L-Wop-Bop. Hey. Case pause, courtroom tense. Hey. Everybody waiting on the consequence. One deep hush through the parking lot to the beat of the L-Wop-Bop.
Go to jail, go to jail. 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 Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. Don't collect that 200s, take your ass straight to jail. Gavel hit, case closed, now the truth and set sail. Take it to trial in the building, baby, straight to jail. Pulled up in court, yeah, the facts on deck. No filter, no fluff, we just call what's next. If the lies don't match and the stories derail, pack it on up, baby, straight to jail. Judge on the bench, whole chat going wild. Sweet Pete on the mic like, hold up, that's foul. You be the judge, but the evidence loud. When the verdict come back, we don't do no soft crowd. Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. Don't collect the 200s, take your ass straight to jail. No pass, go, no spin, no magical fairy tale. Take it to trial, said what? Take your ass straight to jail. Go to jail, go to jail, go to jail. Go to
Whoa, yeah! The cameras on, folks all whispering won't be long. No more smirks and no more lies. Judge looked down with narrowed eyes. Bailiff waiting by the side door. Steel-toed footsteps on the courtroom floor. Whole chat buzzing like the verdict dropped, but the jury room still got them locked. L-Wop-Bop-Bop. Hear the cell doors locked. No parole boy, baby, round the clock. One-way trip and the bus won't stop. Everybody clap to the L-Wop-Bop, L-Wop-Bop. No appeal gonna save you. Orange jumpsuit, tailor-made flavor. Sink that feeling when the gavel drop. That's the rhythm of the L-Wop-Bop. That's the rhythm of the L-Wop-Bop. Mama crying in the second row. Defense still talking, but it's moving slow. State brought receipts and the pressure's steep. Now the whole room barely even breathes. Used to talk big for the TV lights. Now it's long breaks and uneasy nights. Woo! Funny how the swagger disappeared before a single word got cleared. L-Wop-Bop-Bop. Hear the cell doors lock. No parole board, baby, round the clock. One-way trip and the bus won't stop. Everybody clap to the L-Wop-Bop, L-Wop-Bop-Bop. No appeal gonna save ya. Orange jumpsuit, tailor-made flavor. Sink that feeling when the gavel drop. That's the rhythm of the L-Wop-Bop. Hey, 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 hey. The L-Wop-Bop. Hey, 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 hey. That's the rhythm of the L-Wop-Bop. Hey. Case pause, courtroom tense. Hey. Everybody waiting on the consequence. One deep hush through the parking lot to the beat of the L-Wop-Bop. Whoa, yeah!
I won't drive y'all crazy with the song. I am trying to wait and see about this thing. What time you premiering it, Blue? Yeah, she said she premiered it on her channel. Y'all make sure I go over there and subscribe to Blue so we can go over there and support her. Do, 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 do. Let's see. Let me check. Let me see. Here, I'm gonna put the channel in the I'm gonna share it in the link for y'all so y'all can go over there and sub. Let's go. We support, share, copy. I'm almost sure that's how I'm doing it. Here you go. Oh no, I did that wrong, y'all. Wait a minute, I did that wrong. Y'all know I don't be knowing what I be doing. I'm sharing the channel ID here. So if you guys want to go over there and please subscribe and support our fellow chatter that has a channel. Yes, once you get over there, you can. I'm just gonna hit the notify button. That's my best way of remembering all this stuff. Notify me. It says about 4:45 p.m. my time tomorrow. So, okay, cool. So 4:45 tomorrow my time. So Pacific time. Yeah. I don't know what he was thinking at all. I do mean at all. So tomorrow, Sweet Pea Gang, just so y'all know, we will get together early in the day. We are going to look at the retrial for, not the retrial. We're going to rewatch this Rita. Oh man, here we go with a damn name that I can't pronounce. Drunky. I'm gonna call her Rita. I don't know. I don't know. Rita. I don't know. I gotta figure out a name to call her. I don't Rita with a P. Well, I would call her Rita with a P. Yeah, so we'll watch that. I don't even think that take us 3 days. I think we'll be done with that by Friday. It seems like it's a 3-day trial, but it's gonna be a 2-day trial for us. Because I don't think it's gonna take us that long to get through it. from everything I could see. So I'm pretty sure Leslie will probably be going live again because, you know, she was at the trial. I don't see her link and stuff out there just yet. Let me see who else is live out here in these streets. Yeah, I was trying to see if I was going to see like a press conference or what I may see, but I don't see anything just yet. But then again, y'all do know that I am not good at any of this stuff. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see anything just yet for anybody. Or even as even having it scheduled. Let me see if Nashville is still on. Nope, Nashville is not still on. Let's see who else is on, if anything. Yeah, and then I find all the press conferences and stuff once we get offline. It's like really irritating too. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Live. Yeah, I want to see if there's any pressers. I don't think, is Kat still alive? I don't know if she's still alive or not. Oh, Kat's still alive. Let me see what she got going on. I don't know. She reading a motion. Let me see.
On June 9th, 2026 at 12:08 p.m., defense counsel filed defendant's
Oh, she doing something with Rashawn right now. So she reading something about Rashawn right now. Over there, guys. All right. Well, I will put out a notification for the time for tomorrow. We'll probably start that maybe about we'll start mid-morning somewhere around that time. We won't have to start that real early. But we will be good in regards to handling the Rita case. Like I said, I looked at everything after Drunky sent it to me, and it looked like maybe it's a 3-day trial, depending on how you do it, but we'll get it done in 2. So we'll do that Thursday and Friday. If y'all find anything else out there for next week, please let me know. And we'll kind of go from there, guys. I want to say shout out to the mods, shout out to the chat, shout out to all the new subscribers, shout out to everybody that gave gifted membership. It's awesome. I truly appreciate all the support. Don't forget to go over there and subscribe to Blue River. And let's put our support in tomorrow evening. I would definitely check out for Leslie to see if she's gonna have anything tonight. Don't forget, Crime Club is always where the crime is going and always happening. So please, 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 if you want to do anything with Crime Club, go on over there tonight. The Discord link is in the chat. Because Crime Club is just like Fight Club, and what goes on in Fight Club, it just goes on in Fight Club. So I definitely recommend it to everybody. All right, here we go, guys. Outro song, and we out of here.
When Sweet Pea taps in, you know the courtroom lights go bright. Trials running long, but the family's here every night. Mars on patrol, chat is showing out. This little YouTube corner's what community's about. Therapist you know, steady holding down the floor. Behind the scenes magician, keeping peace like never before. A banner king, a rule keeper too. Every channel dreams of a mom like you. Jason walks in and the ladies lose control. Down to earth king with the warmest soul. Film freaks, kindness, man, it's it's true. Sharp as a gavel, funniest in the room. Dr. Rachel pops in while she's busy running lines. Speaks her mind every time, cuts through like a knife. And Paula brings the energy, jokes flying fast. Helping Sweet Pea backstage, making every stream last. And Zach's trolling, causing chaos just for fun. The resident cheater, but we love him, everyone. Here comes Maddie, handsome, quick with the line. A comedy sniper with the perfect timing. And Lynn with the updates, always loyal, always tuned. If true crime news drops, he brings it to the room. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. We debate, we laugh, we lift each other higher. This courtroom crew is everything we admire. Yeah, no matter what the case or file, we're forever taken to trial. Take it to trial. Shamrock keeps us trending, replay queen, holding down the algorithm like a machine. SD's razor sharp, loyal through and through. And yeah, she adores chasing nothing new. Drunky the bear with the white claws, way managing volunteers like she runs the whole land. Cynthia brings inside, would take sharp and steady. Donna keeps it real, 911 and always ready till he burns the fat queen. Receipts on tap, Easy's new, but she blends right into the pack. Tennessee, hard-lived, tries to support her with pride. Melly shows up her family for cooking for his dog. A steady carrying presence through the courtroom fog. And Brooklyn in the house, always bringing that spark. Lighting up the chat like a shout in the dark. Barker loves her grand, speaks truth when it's time. Micrograms with metaphors straight up sublime. Barbara biggest supporter, heart kind and vast. Looking for missing kids, hope that truly lasts. Only fan from Singapore, flag name but sweet. Still shows up with love every time he takes a seat. And even the part-timers keep this place alive. Curvier, Irish Amy, Capri Law, Hellcat, our tribe. Hearts wide open, stories shared, holding space because we care. From every corner of the world we climb to spend these nights together, one trial at a time. We're a family in the chat, side by side through every trial. Sweet Pea leads the way with that fire and that smile. Minds and shatters, yeah, this love is something rare. A courtroom crew with hearts beyond compare. No matter what the case or file, we're forever taken to trial.